All right. Here we are. We're back. And we're jumping right into the theories of Judge Gavelle. Not Judge Courtney. That was the previous fan translation. This is Judge Gavelle. So, how Knight wound up in the prison proper. Alright, so we already went through kind of what she said before, and we're going to be doing some pressing. So let's go ahead and get started there. So it says, you're aware of the incident involving Mr. Knight the day before. Your Honor, about this incident. You have heard about it, of course. Surely any attorney with assault would have his sources. Yes, I am aware of it, of course. Simply wish to confirm... Then you are wasting both of our time. Shall we continue? Oh. He assaulted an innocent guard and stole his keys. Do you have any proof that Knight stole the keys? I can think of no other reason for him to carry out such a brutal attack. Once the guard he assaulted regains consciousness, I am sure he will confirm our suspicions. I wouldn't be so sure. Perhaps I should press her further on her reasoning. Let's press further, yeah. Sorry, but I believe there is a flaw in your reasoning. If Knight had the keys, there was nothing to stop him from leaving whenever he wanted. Why wait for Mr. Saint? There was no need, surely. He chose the option he deemed most likely to succeed. He stole the keys and hid them somewhere, then waited for an opportune moment to present itself. He hid the keys. I am afraid you might have made an uncharacteristic oversight, Your Honor. But Knight wasn't hiding any keys. That has been proven already. And this is the piece of evidence that proves Knight didn't have the keys. The pocket chess set, right?
Take that.
No, I was wrong. Would you care to revise your testimony at all, Judge Gavelle? No? Why? Do you believe there's something wrong with it? Well, no. Nothing seems out of place. Then perhaps you could refrain from insinuating otherwise? Well, that blew up in my face. See, later in the middle of moving a large animal cage, we'll finish pressing, and then we'll come back to that one. I take it you believe Mr. Saint had intended to break Knight out with the cage? I do, and we know that he brought the cage with him on his visit to Mr. Knight's cell. Because in addition to the evidence, he himself has testified to having done so. So his trip to Knight's cell with the cage really is what made him the lead suspect. Yeah, but Simeon, he's just absent-minded. He probably forgot he even had the cage with him. Mr. Saint dragged an enormous cage all the way to the holding cells out of absent-mindedness. Mr. Saint dragged an enormous cage all the way to the holding cells in order to help someone escape. Which of these interpretations sounds more logical to you? Gah! Got us. I gotta say, gah, indeed. As it is a fact that Mr. Saint took a little detour to Mr. Knight's cell with a large animal cage. That's when Mr. Knight stole out of his cell using the keys he'd stolen. Okay. Do you have any proof that Knight stole the keys? I can think of no other reason for him to carry out... Oh, wait, we already did this. Back off for now. Okay. Apologies, Your Honor. Please continue. Very well. As I was saying, it's clear the keys were vital to Mr. Knight's escape. He slipped into the cage, and there he hid as he was wheeled off to one of the prison workshops. Okay? But why go to so much trouble? Why else but to effect Mr. Knight's escape? Well... The cage is made of metal, therefore it would have been exempt from the security gate inspection on exit. A fact Mr. Saint would have been well aware of, given that the circus visits every month. I don't have anything to counter that. With a tarp draped over the cage, he could have wheeled Mr. Knight out, right under the guards' noses. That is, had Mr. Saint not chosen a darker path instead. The path of murder. A crime which cannot be allowed to go unpunished. She says that Mr. Knight stole the keys, but didn't he deny that? Indeed, and if Knight didn't have them, then her entire theory falls apart. And that could be the flaw I've been looking for. I should press her on the issue. Alright, so we do have... In here, he assaulted a guard and stole his keys. So let's look through, like... What do we have that definitively says he didn't have the keys? Had the bracelet, the black dog, security footage. See, Mr. Knight's cell key. A guard was attacked and his keys, including the one to Knight's cell, were stolen. They have yet to be recovered. The guard assigned to Knight was unconscious. The guard's keys of the holding cells were stolen, but Knight denied having taken them. Knight's key cell was subsequently thoroughly searched, but no keys were found. Okay? I mean, is that the evidence we need? Because that seems pretty definitive to me. But let's see. We've also got... The missing guard uniform, which we still don't know about. We've got the security camera footage. We got the wiped floor, which we know was Knight's blood being wiped up, which is interesting. But I don't know. It's hard to say. So that's Sawit's bracelet. I don't think that matters. There's the chess diagram. So we know that Knight and Canis were playing chess, correspondence chess with each other. Bodhiarma Canis. And let's see. Anyway, let's go ahead and press some more. So let's see. I'm gonna approve. We'll go back. Press further. All right. All right. Yeah, because he did mention he hid the keys, and it's like, well, his cell was searched and it didn't show up. Let's see if this works. Okay. Okay, it does work. Got it. Since you know about the incident, I assume you must already know this, but after the assault, the guards searched both Knight and his cell, and no keys were found. And if the whereabouts of the keys cannot be proven, then neither can your theory. I have considered the matter of the missing keys, and I do not think it's such an issue. I still believe he had them. After all, the guards only stated that they were unable to locate them. And this is because they were cleverly hidden inside the pocket chess set. Knight's chess set. The same set in which the murder weapon was also allegedly hidden. Was it? I can't help but wonder about that. What? But you're the one who proposed it! Actually, if you recall, that was Eustace's assertion. So the two of them aren't of one mind on this, I take it. Allow me to restate the facts. Mr. Knight hid the keys he stole from the guard inside his chess set. When Mr. Saint came to see him, Mr. Knight used the keys to open his cell and climbed inside the cage. He was then moved from his holding cell to that workshop in the prison proper. And with the help of his friend, and accomplice. Had things gone according to plan, he would have been taken out of the facility after the show. But they did not. Instead, his accomplice murdered him while the show was taking place in the yard. But Mr. Saint was a part of that performance. How would he even had time to commit the murder? How indeed. Allow me to explain. As you know, many stage performances follow a set narrative. Yesterday's show was one such example. She's done her homework, I see. The suspect played the role of the antagonist opposite the elephantine heroine of the show. In the latter part of the performance, the heroine's love prevails and the villain is defeated. This victory is depicted in a very unique manner, whereby the villain is sent flying from the stage for the heroine. He's sent flying by the elephant? Isn't that dangerous? Having been ejected from the stage in this manner, the villain no longer appears in the performance. In other words, the suspect did not appear on stage for a period of approximately 15 minutes. And you're saying the crime took place during that time? Yes, I'm afraid so. After all, it's more than a sufficient window, wouldn't you say? I don't know about that. Committing the crime and returning to the stage in that short 15-minute window is only possible, assuming that the murder took place in the prison proper. But in fact, Your Honor, the real scene of the crime was Knight's cell. I seem to remember telling you that I would not accept that part of the security footage into evidence. And you won't have to. I have proof of a different kind. Very well. Would you be so good as to present it? What proof do you have that the murder took place in the victim's holding cell? The wiped up blood? This appears to be a photograph of a floor. Almighty goddess of justice, grant me patience. Oh, she's so sassy. That floor you're so dismissive of, Your Honor, has traces of Knight's blood on it. Traces, you say? Is this evidence reliable? After all, I don't believe you have access to the necessary forensics operatives. Yeah, I have my resources. A certain blunt instrument, you might say, but a reliable one. Ow! What a way to talk about Gumshoe. Oh, there he is, yeah. The detective. How very unfortunate for him. Perhaps before you decide to circumvent the law, you might have considered that the committee's influence extends to the police. Oh no! Now Gummy's badge is on the line too? Forgive me, Detective. I didn't mean to put you at risk as well. I'm standing right here. I can hear you. Yeah. I will enter the fact that Mr. Knight's blood was found in the holding cell into evidence. However... Bad luck, idiots! You're really on the edge now, Mr. Worthless! Oh, wow. Mr. Winner. I'd forgotten you were there. It was nice while it lasted. I just butted in to tell you that your entire argument is one big inconsistency. You showed us camera footage of a dog killing Mr. Knight in his cell. Are you saying the mutt also wiped the blood up before it left the scene? Uh-oh. What other tricks can it do, huh? A blood-wiping dog? You're a joke. You would have wiped that blood up, wouldn't you, boy? Yes, Helmet. Yes, you would. What? That was one of the tricks I taught him before our work together was so rudely cut short. He's a very tidy boy, you know. Never misses a drop. It wouldn't do to leave any evidence after all. Oh, man. Oh, he's been thoroughly owned by facts and logic. Saved by an assassin, of all people. Jeez Louise. You could have just taught the little guy to shake hands. Oh, he does that marvelously, too. Although the way I taught him to do it is somewhat unorthodox. First, he bites down hard on the victim's hand. Then... La 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 la! I'm not listening! I see. Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. It seems you may have gathered some evidence worth considering. Your understanding is much... Wait! I'm not done yet! I just thought of something else! Overruled. Oh boy. Somebody's taking no prisoners. Eustace, would you be so kind as to allow me? All yours, Gavelle. Well, do you accept the truth now? The crime took place in Knight's holding cell, and the assassin's dog was the killer. My position is the same as it was yesterday, until you could explain how the dog moved between the prison and the detention center. I cannot accept your theory into evidence. I thought you might say that, which is why I'd like to show you something else. This piece of evidence shows how the dog could freely travel between the prison and the detention center. Is it the tunnel? Yeah. This is... It's a secret passageway. It runs beneath the prison. Whoa, what? A secret passageway? It was dug by one Mr. Rocco Carcerato, escapee. It leads from his prison cell to a certain holding cell in the detention center. Yes, the very one where the victim was being held. Well, this is certainly a surprise. To think that it was beneath our feet this entire time. Mr. Canis, you knew of this tunnel, didn't you? Because it's the same tunnel that was used to carry out the murder. In the name of the goddess of justice, overruled! Mr. Edgeworth, you are out of line. How so, Your Honor? Evidence is everything, whether in a court of law or at the scene of an investigation. Isn't that your little catchphrase? Well, it just so happens that I have some evidence of my own. Bronco Knight's autopsy report. His autopsy report? Oh no. Hoist by your own petard, Edgeworth. When did we get that? How do you not know you had it? The police handed it to me only a short while ago. The findings are still preliminary, but it has something of value to tell us nonetheless. The goddess of justice speaks to us through these pages, Mr. Edgeworth. Cause of death, stab wound to the throat. And the weapon is said to be a sharp blade of some sort. It seems the victim was stabbed repeatedly in the same spot, resulting in an ugly wound. As such, the police have yet to identify the exact shape of the weapon. But its overall nature seems to be beyond question. It is a bladed metal instrument. In light of this evidence, do you truly wish to continue with your flight of fancy? Or will you now claim that the dog used a knife instead? But that's impossible! That will be all. This court is adjourned. But the tunnel! The paw prints! What of them? Helmet is something of a wanderer. Perhaps he just happened to cross this tunnel one day. Although I couldn't say for certain. I myself cannot wander quite so freely. That would be quite a coincidence. I can't prove it's not the case either. She sure knows how to keep a secret, huh? Kinda wish she'd kicked us in the teeth a little earlier with that. She was baiting me, waiting for the perfect moment to crush me with that autopsy report. And I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. You are lead attorney for the defense, correct, Mr. Fender? This is the interim autopsy report in question. I do apologize for the delay. Yeah, no sweat. Thanks for hooking us up. Autopsy report data jotted down. Alright. I wouldn't put it past Canis to teach the dog to knife fight at this point. Yeah, just, here. Take this knife. I'm gonna teach you to be a blade dog. Yep, this all checks out. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mr. Fender, a handshake is not necessary when receiving official court documents, you know. So please feel free to let go of my hand. It is not a holy relic, after all. But just trying to be friendly, Your Honor. He's just trying. He's trying so hard. Had you lingered a moment longer, the goddess of justice would have spoken to you through my gavel. All right, I got it. Nice work, Gavelle. Just like we planned it. I did only as you instructed, Eustace, but thank you. Yeah, he did not instruct that. Doubt. This report came from the police. I have no choice but to accept its legitimacy. But if the dog didn't kill Knight, then that takes Canis out of the running. The goddess of justice speaks to me, Mr. Edgeworth, and she is merciful. She tells me that you might yet keep your badge, if you will finally abandon this fruitless quest. What's the move, sir? I think she really means it this time. What do you think, detective? My answer remains the same, Judge Gavelle. I will see my duty done, and I will not be intimidated. Even with how things stand, you still refuse to concede? This may very well be your last chance. Your badge hangs by a thread. Then let it fall if it must. I have something far more important to protect as an associate attorney. My client. Oh, Edgeworth is getting into this. The goddess of justice is no doubt saddened by your refusal to accept yet another offer of mercy. Attaboy, Miles. That's what I like to see. Looks like the defense never rests is really starting to mean something to you. Credit to your old man, though. He's the one who said it first. My father? In fact, I could swear I saw Gregory's spirit in you for a second there. You said that you changed since your days in Von Karma's shadow. I didn't believe you at first, but I'm starting to. Thank you, Fender. Alright, kids. This is where the rubber really hits the road. Put your thinking caps on. It's make or break time. If it's true that Knight was off with a bladed weapon, does our whole case really fall apart? A bladed weapon? Of course! There were 5 chisels in Conus' cell when we last looked. A former assassin certainly wouldn't struggle to commit murder with a tool like that. In which case, the weapon that killed Knight was... Have you quite finished? It would be in your best interest to concede. Evidence is everything. It may well be my little catchphrase, but it's also true. So the murder weapon was a sharp blade? Then where is it? The guards didn't find it. Why can't you let this go? What if they didn't find it? What are you driving at? What if I were to tell you that I now know where the real murder weapon was? And if it was right under our noses the whole time? Indeed. It was one of Mr. Canis's chisels. What?! I would advise you to stop bombarding us with your irresponsible, half-baked theories, Mr. Edgeworth. You have repeatedly insisted that Mr. Knight was killed in his cell by a dog. I simply go where the evidence takes me, both in the courtroom and at the scene of a crime. If the murder weapon was in fact a chisel, then yes, the murderer could not have been the dog. But that begs the question of what exactly it was we saw in the security footage. Oh yeah! The security footage! How do you explain that, Mr. Smarty Pants? An excellent question. The footage shows the dog killing somebody, somebody attacking the dog jumping on somebody. Technically speaking, it shows the dog jumping on somebody, yes. I thought his catchphrase was the nook and cranny thing. Well, it is. He is a man of many catchphrases, Mr. Edgeworth, I think. Also, Steel Samurai. He is a Steel Samurai fan through and through. Mr. Canis's dog jumping up at Knight. The dog attacked Knight. But he didn't kill the man. He didn't? No, Knight was merely knocked out. The dog didn't drag a corpse through the tunnel. He dragged an alive but unconscious Knight. The real killer was the dog's master. Oh, I get it. By bringing Knight here, Mr. Canis could finish the job. And he could definitely use one of his chisels to do it. Correct. You, Bodhikama Canis, you were the only one who could have done it. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, you ever get this on your report card? Refuses to listen, must learn to respect others. Are you asking me or confessing to what's on yours? We heard you search Mr. Canis' cell from top to bottom, right, Gavelle? Yes, we even inspected his chisels, all 4 of them. There wasn't a single speck of blood. 4? Oh ho ho! Why, thank you, Your Honor. You have just confirmed my theory. I have? What exactly do you mean? The last time we were here, there were 5 chisels, not 4. Oh yeah, I remember counting them. Definitely 5. Note to self, when accused of murder, answer yes. That is a great way to look innocent. And the one that's missing is... the small one, the one we thought might be a pocket chisel. Mr. Canis, where did you hide that chisel? A pocket chisel? And what use might I have for such a thing,
I am rarely allowed to leave my cell.
In which case, he shouldn't have had the chance to dispose of the weapon. You've dug your own grave, Mr. Connus. You seem to have an idea where this missing chisel might be, Mr. Edgeworth. Would you enlighten us? For a man who can't leave his cell of his own volition, Connus could only have hidden the chisel here. Okay. Wait. I mean... his own cell, right? He can't leave his cell. Is this... am I underthinking this? He can't leave his cell. And I'm assuming... well, who knows? I don't know if the dog's trained to hide evidence or not. But, like, it seems like it's the cell. So let's see. Yes, I got it. Mr. Connus is still a prisoner, despite the comfort he enjoys. He is rarely allowed outside of his cell. He could have given the chisel to his dog to leave somewhere, but that would have been far from ideal. He would have no way of guaranteeing where it might end up.
Intriguing. Do go on, Mr. Edgeworth.
Furthermore, this room is the one place where a bladed instrument wouldn't raise an eyebrow. 4 chisels, 5 chisels, who's counting? The fact he took 2 full advantage of. Ah, the old keep the incriminating evidence close routine. Classic. But I looked! I searched the whole cell myself! And there's just nowhere he could have hidden it. I am certain that the murder weapon is here, and that the reason why no one has found it yet is it was because it was hidden in such an ingenious manner.
Do enlighten us, Mr. Edgeworth. What was my ingenious plan?
Think, Miles. There must be a hiding spot he could make use of. Think about when you came here previously. What are you missing? He's not showing us up permanently, right? Let's get out of here, come on! Let's see. The dog. He hasn't made a sound today. When we were here before, he barked and growled repeatedly. Connus even encouraged him to do so. That must be it. I knew something was off. I can hardly believe it, but I think I know where he hid the murder weapon.
Giving up already? I expected more of you, Mr. Edgeworth.
As well you should, if you would give me a moment. For this piece of evidence shows where you hid the murder weapon. The dog. The dog itself. Your dog. He seems unusually quiet today. Oh yeah, unlike last time when... Mr. Connus, if you would be so kind as to open Helmet's mouth.
Oh, come now. He hasn't barked because he is a well-behaved boy. I had to order him to last time.
Then order him again, this instant.
It's not like we're asking for the world, Mr. Connus. Or do you have something to hide? If you insist. Come on, Helmet. Open up.
And there we have it. A chisel that small was easy enough for a dog of that... What? A chisel? In the dog? Why is there a chisel in the dog? I thought he'd been strangely quiet. I guess his brain is finally caught up. Why does Connus not have pupils? Well, he's blind, I know that. So I wonder if that's part of it. Eustace, why don't you be a good boy and call forensics? Tell them it's urgent. Okay. That's gotta be so bad for the dog. Yeah, just having a chisel in the dog's mouth. Our findings are as follows. Traces of blood were detected on the chisel. What? Not such a half-baked theory after all, was it? All right. So we're all on the same page here. This is our murder weapon, yeah? The forensic evidence cannot be ignored. We have no choice but to concede that this is most likely the case. All right. Mr. Carnes, in light of the discovery of the murder weapon, the court demands that you explain yourself. We found the route your dog took to the holding cells, and now we have the chisel. How do you propose to talk your way out of this one?
You never fail to entertain, Mr. Edgeworth.
Why does he always laugh like that, even when it's not funny?
Poor Helmet. How could they suspect us? You leave me a little choice. I shall simply have to share with you the truth. I did not kill anyone. I have grown tired of killing.
Something's not right. Why is he so calm? Very well. The court will hear Mr. Carnes' testimony. If you would please so kind.
Gladly.
Carnes' defense.
Perhaps you might begin by explaining what you believe my motive to have been. I never knew this knight. I had no contact with him. No connection whatsoever.
Oh, wrong. You were doing chess with him.
Given that this is the case, why would I possibly wish him dead? Could it be you're suggesting that it was my canine companion who had the motive instead? Helmet only bears his fangs when I tell him to. I am not so bloodthirsty that I would kill a man I did not know.
I mean, when he puts it that way... An assassin only kills his acquaintances. Not the soundest business model, I agree.
My work required me to deal with strangers, of course. But murder for its own sake, that's not my style.
So I need to prove a link between Knight and Carnes. I should go over the evidence again and see what I can discover. I think I got this. Alright, boss. Let's get you. Explaining. I think we already got it. I never knew this knight. I had no contact with him, no connection whatsoever. I mean, it seems so obvious that we have the chess diagram. Yes, okay. You're getting sloppy, Mr. Carnes. You may have trained your dog to clean up your mess, but some things still require a human touch. We found this in the victim's room. It's the record of a game of correspondence chess. What's more, the game depicted matches the game laid out on your board.
What?
The number of possible games has been calculated to be 10 to the power of 120, and that's on the low end. Wait, so that's 10 times 10, 120 times over, right? 100, 1,000. I give up. I mean, what do you even call a number that big? A vanishingly unlikely coincidence, that's what. Now, tell us why you killed Knight. Unless that is, you would prefer to explain the coincidence.
Well, they do say that truth is stranger than fiction. It is, as you say, a coincidence.
But that's totally impossible. We just proved that.
A coincidence of a different kind, child. I never imagined my correspondent was the victim, you see. And yet here we are. Helmet is as surprised as I am, aren't you, Helmet? Yes, yes.
Alright, Knight was playing correspondence chess against Carnes. Alright.
I suppose there's nothing for it but to finally tell the truth, boy? The other prisoners had all gone to the yard, you see. There was a show of some sort, I believe. Here I was, minding my own business, when in comes Helmet, dragging a corpse of all things. I had quite the shock, not least because the murder weapon was still in the poor fellow's neck. Of course, I was none too keen on becoming a suspect, so I had Helmet take the body to the workshop. Once there, he removed the murder weapon and brought it back to me, just as I had asked.
The dog pulled out the murder weapon in the workshop?
Indeed he did. Moving it here would have made an awful mess, after all.
You know something. That makes total sense. Remember what Mr. Sawit said, Mr. Edgeworth? That huge black dog. had sunk his terrible teeth into the victim's throat. What did you just say? He was hellish, utterly hellish. That beast, that awful beast, he killed him. I see. What Mr. Salt actually saw was Helmet removing the murder weapon then.
Precisely. I can't say I wasn't a little disappointed that he was spotted, of course. Silly boy. It's not like you to slip up like that, is it now? And there you have it. That is about all there is to tell. I did not kill the man. At most, I am responsible for the removal of the weapon. Now, will that be all? Poor Helmet is growing restless.
Objection!
Sorry, but if you could entertain us just for a little longer, Mr. Canis. Fender?
No offense, Palio, but I don't think you've quite told us everything. I'm sure we'd all like to know why you thought you needed to pull the chisel out in the first place.
He's right. It makes sense that he would move the body to avoid suspicion, but Canis had no reason at all to recover the murder weapon.
So the mute one isn't as dumb as I thought.
Please answer the question, Mr. Canis.
It was because of the bell. The one attached to the chisel and the one around Helmet's neck. Have a very distinctive design, if you will.
Of course. They were something of a trademark of yours, were they not? I don't get it. How does that even work? Buddy Arma Canis, the blind butcher, his appearance was always announced by the sound of bells. The last sound his victims would ever hear.
You flatter me. Though it's been some years since you last saw one of them, you remember them well.
Your knife and its attached bell were one of the pieces of evidence seized in our case against you.
Yes, it was but one of my bells. One of only two in existence.
Just two? We have reached the stage of the interrogation where the witness says, "Fine, I guess I'll tell the truth," for the third time. Yes. I mean, we're not in court, technically, so perjury doesn't count, but my gosh.
Two and only two. One for my knife, and one for my beloved helmet. Exquisitely crafted. Utterly unique. My ears are my guide, after all. And I must be able to use my tools precisely. Of course, as you said, the knife has long since been taken from me.
So only two of them. Got it.
When Helmet brought the body to my cell, I was rather surprised to hear a familiar sound. At first I was sure that my knife had been used to do the deed. But no, a chisel. An ordinary chisel.
It's certainly no assassin's blade.
Nonetheless, the bell would have suggested my involvement. Compounding the matter is the fact that I am the only person in this prison permitted to use such tools. It was clear that I would become the prime suspect. And so the chisel had to be removed and hidden.
You still claim that all you did was have the dog move the body? That you had nothing to do with the killing?
How could I? I told you, the chisel is not mine. You need not take my word, Mr. Edgeworth. Why not have it checked for fingerprints?
Eustace? Huh? Me? But I don't know how to check for prints.
Get forensics.
Oh, right! Oh, sure thing. We got him! Fingerprints? They're Mr. Knight's. And Mr. Canis's? Nope. Just Mr. Knight's. Oh, and forensics said there's no sign of any prints having been wiped off. Only Knight's fingerprints? This isn't good. Should I get them to check again?
Now do you see? I have never so much as touched that chisel. Helmet carried it in his mouth, that is all. Therefore, any prints must belong to whoever had it last.
Ugh. So the murder weapon belonged to the victim? Oh, that's not helpful.
As I said, I have not touched the chisel. Therefore, I cannot be the killer. Or do you wish to suggest otherwise?
I've got nothing to counter with. What could this mean? Is he not the killer after all? Is he actually telling the truth? No! He can't be! I am sure this goes without saying, Mr. Edgeworth, but if you do not find it a solution to your current predicament, and quickly, I will have little choice but to relieve you of your badge. Even my patience has a limit, and I will not tolerate you throwing this investigation into chaos. Am I clear? You've done it now, sir! She's serious! I hate to admit it, but the fingerprints turn everything on its head. Without more evidence, I'm back to square one. Wait, something doesn't add up. A few things, actually. What would Mr. Knight have needed a chisel for?
You can do a lot with a chisel, child. Break out of prison, for one.
Alright, then how did he get it in here? There's no way the guards will let him bring a super sharp tool in with him, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Hey, Earth to Mr. Edgeworth! Can't stand there hemming and hawing just because of a little setback. The important thing is finding the truth, you know? It doesn't matter how we get there. As long as we save Simeon in the end, we can't give up now. Or ever. Yeah, what she said! I'll second that. You won me around with that, Kay. I'm half tempted to offer you a job for real. It's like I said, the defense never rests. Or rather, like your pop said. What do you think lies at the heart of those words, Miles? Any guesses? The heart of those words? It's like this. As defense attorneys, our client's fate rests on our shoulders. We're the only ones they can turn to. Simeon's our client, and we're the only ones who can save him. So we can't rest, not while he's counting on us. I'm not about to turn my back on your old man's legacy. Are you? I'm an associate with the defense now. No. I'm an associate with my father's firm. That's the role I have chosen. And that means that if I fail to save my client, I have failed in my duties. I will honor my father's vision and save Simeon Saint. No matter what setbacks I face, I cannot admit defeat. If one path is blocked, I must simply find another. There we go. That's the Miles Edgeworth I know. Now let's find that new path forward. Come on, Miles. Believe in the heart of the words. That's right. We can start by trying to figure out how Mr. Knight brought that chisel into the prison. Right. How would Knight have managed to bring a chisel in here? Pocket chest set. Usually, it wouldn't be possible to bring a metal object into this facility undetected. Because of the security gates, right? Correct. But we already know that checks at one of the gates haven't been entirely thorough of late. Namely, the gate of the entrance to the detention center. That gate is only used to scan people. Any items they bring into the facility are only subjected to a cursory check. Are you telling me that the chess set wasn't put through the metal detector? It should have been, alas. It seems the guards have grown a little lax in that regard of late. Knight took advantage of this little oversight and had Mr. Saint bring him the chisel, hidden inside his pocket chess set. That does answer one of our questions, and it suggests that the chisel was indeed Mr. Knight's and not Mr. Connis's. Alright. There we go. Pocket chess set updated. However, we still have one rather pressing problem to address. That of the security footage in which Knight is attacked by a dog. How does one explain it if Mr. Connis was not the culprit? But then, how do you explain his prints not being on the murder weapon? This one's a real three-piper. The court, too, finds itself wanting for a satisfactory explanation. Wait, sir! I think it might be time to show you another one of my secret weapons! Introducing secret weapon number 4. Little V. What sort of name is that, Detective? I came up with it myself, sir. Anyway, you can use it to analyze the video footage. An excellent idea.
Perhaps then you might finally see that I am telling the truth.
Who knows if there's anything to be found, but it has to be worth a try.
All right. You wanted me to talk you through how to use it, sir?
Seeing as I'm not exactly familiar with video analysis techniques, perhaps I should hear him out. Okay, sure. If you could run me through its functions, Detective, that would be most appreciated.
Yes, sir! So basically, you just gotta do what you always do. Examine anything that catches your eye.
And I can examine things with T, I see.
Next up, see those controls at the bottom of the screen? The panels on the left and right let you rewind to fast forward, and you can use the middle one to pause. Get used to those and you're golden, sir.
It seems I can also press E to fast forward or Q to rewind the footage. And I can press spacebar to pause.
When the video is paused, you can go to the previous frame with Q or the next frame with E. Or just use the same control panels I showed you earlier. Lastly, I'd better explain how to zoom in. Just line up the old cursor with the area you want to take a closer look at. Then use the panel in the bottom right, and little V will do the rest. It's got these two expanding arrows right on it. Can't miss it, sir.
It would appear I can zoom in by pressing R too.
By the way, even when you're zoomed in, you can still examine stuff, just like in regular view. Also, you can make use of previous and next frame to get a good look at what's really happening. Only thing you can't do when you're zoomed in is play the footage, so there's that.
I see. And how do I zoom out again?
Just use the panel in the lower right again, sir. See how it's gone from expanding to collapsing arrows on there? That's because you're zoomed in. And that about sums it up. Now let's fire Lil V up for real. Remember, just examine anything that catches your eye, and you'll do fine.
The footage from Knight's holding cell. Other than the victim being attacked by that dog, I can't see what else it might show us. But suppose we're wrong. What could we be looking at instead? Could the person in the footage be someone other than Knight? And if so, could whatever's attacking them be something else too? I should keep both questions in mind while reviewing the footage.
You never know what you're gonna see once you start looking at things up close. Check every detail, sir. You'll find something, I'm sure.
Alright. What in this footage seems odd? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking pixel and frame. Alright. We got the mirror is of interest to me. Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Hold up. Wait a minute. That is somebody in a police officer's outfit in that mirror. That is a police uniform. Alright, hang on. Alright. Actually, I think there's a better shot here in a second. Alright. Alright, hang on. Alright. This figure is reflected in the mirror here, too. Is that a hat?
Say, doesn't that look like the hats the guards wear, sir? Aw, geez. Is that what I think it is?
Have there been any reports of one of the animals attacking a guard recently?
Not that I've heard of.
So this may not be a guard at all, but somebody dressed as one. Perhaps this might shed a little light on the matter of the hat. The missing guard uniform. So no guards have reported being attacked by an animal as far as we know. But we did hear about a guard's spare uniform being stolen. Could the person in the security footage perhaps be someone disguised as a guard? Someone attempting to escape without being noticed?
A guard disguise? I guess it might work. Wait, weren't we just talking about someone?
We were indeed. Someone who seems to have successfully made his escape. If the person in the footage is at Night, then the creature may not be a dog either.
You're right, sir. Let's zoom in and check.
Oh, it's the panda. When this footage seems odd. Let's see. I must be seeing things. What I need to do is figure out who this person really is. Perhaps something else in the footage can provide me with a clue. I have to keep looking. Alright. Let's see, can we... let's see. Let's see. Yeah, that's clearly the bear. Let's see. I mean, yeah, that is definitely the bear. But how do we actually confirm that that's the bear? Let's see. Or is there a way... Hang on. Let's see. Yeah, that's Carcerado's pet bear. Yeah, is this gonna make it clearer? I must be seeing things for this person. Alright, maybe that's not it right now? Alright. Let's see again. Yeah, it's Carcerado's bear. Let's see. Oh, is that better? I must... No? Let's zoom in. Because, yeah, that's very obviously a bear. Okay. Am I getting ahead of things to, like... That is very obviously not a dog. Ah, maybe that? Wait, that's... Good. I suspect we may have made a critical error in judgment. What we're looking at here is no dog. The animal is a bear. That's not a dog, it's a bear. What? So the paw prints from the photo I took were not canine, but ursine. Alright. So, they weren't dog prints, they were bear prints. A bear? So could that mean? Yes, I think it could, after all. Who else do we know with such a pet? We had assumed that it was Knight in the security footage. Well, it was his cell. It's hardly a crazy theory. Perhaps, but now that we know about the hole under the bed, it is no longer the only possibility. Whoever had access to the tunnel could very well be the one caught on camera. And who was that, Mr. Edgeworth? Would you care to tell the court who you believe this person to be? The person in the security footage is... Rocco Carcerado. I believe I know who our guard in disguise is. It is none other than Rocco Carcerado, the prisoner who recently escaped from this facility. I'm confident it's him because he was assigned a polar bear cub as his companion. But the bear in that video is all black. Indeed, and we have evidence that explains why. The evidence that explains the polar bear's dark fur is... Is it the tunnel? Going through the tunnel, like, it's all dirty? Because the paw prints were black, right? Let's see. You mean to tell the court that this somehow explains how a white bear became black? Call me a dum-dum, but... Quoi? How does that even work, Malzerino? Indeed, do enlighten us. You don't need to tell me. I already know the answer. The court requests that the defense refrain from making baseless assertions. No, it seems that wasn't the answer. Mr. Carcerado's bear. Mr. Sawat could have given it one of his treatments, right? Indeed, and the nature of that treatment may well hold the key. Your Honor, I would like to present another piece of evidence. Very well. May the goddess of justice guide your hand. Evidence, let's see. Is it Sawit's hand because it was covered in dirt? Oh, the mud pack, right? Yeah. Recall, if you will, Mr. Frank Sawit's testimony. That's the rubber glove I dropped. Would you care to explain why it's so dirty? Oh, of course. That's mud from one of the pet treatments I've been practicing. I was giving one of the animals a mud pack right when the incident happened. I see. Around what time would this have been? Let's see. The show had already started, so around 9 a.m. perhaps? The thing is, the more mud I applied, the more in the zone I got, and the darker the animal's fur became. There's no trance quite like the trance one enters when one slathers an animal with thick black mud. While the circus performance was underway, he was giving one of the animals a mud pack treatment. And that animal could have been, indeed, a polar bear. Mr. Edgeworth, your latest assertion simply introduces yet another contradiction. The footage from the security camera. I fully understand, Your Honor, and your doubts are entirely justified. Mr. Sawit mentioned applying the mud pack while the circus performance was underway. And this does indeed introduce a new contradiction concerning the security footage. It does? Yes. Let's put it this way. When would you expect the footage to have been recorded, Kay? If it was taken right after he applied the mud pack treatment, it should have been around 9 a.m. In which case, something isn't right about the footage. Really? And what's that? What new contradiction does the security footage introduce relative to when it was recorded? Let's answer that in just a second. I'll be right back. Taking a very quick break. Alright, I am back. This is intense anime fight music. It is! And this is the pre-order bonus. The music isn't all like Nintendo DS. it's a lot more orchestrated. Alright, here we go. So we got... Well, the problem is that it's the time, right? Because it says at 6 a.m. Mr. Sawit said he administered the treatment at around 9 a.m. In which case, the security footage should also show a time of around 9. However, the timestamp says 6:42 a.m. On the day of the murder, the prisoners all went out to the yard to watch the circus. All except 3. Mr. Canis, who remained in his cell in maximum security. Mr. Sawit, who was administering a mud pack treatment in the workshop. And Rocco Carcerado, who had been awaiting that precise moment to put his escape plan into action. I believe he entrusted the bear to Mr. Sawit before entering the tunnel. And the bear then slipped out of Mr. Sawit's grasp to run after its human. Mr. Sawit would have then left the workshop to pursue the bear, at which point he saw Mr. Conus's dog retrieving the murder weapon from Knight's body. I love the facial expression there. He's like, yay! It all fits perfectly, except for the security footage, which should have been recorded from around 9 a.m. However, the timestamp is 3 hours off. But why would the timestamp be wrong? Detective, I would like you to have the security camera examined right away, please. And off Gumshoe goes.
I'm back, sir. I just talked to the guards and, seems like the time codes can slip on these cameras if they lose power.
What?
They're pretty old, sir. Guess the clock stops when the power's off.
Which would mean the power was off for approximately 3 hours at some point. Oh, okay. This was actually recorded around 9 a.m.
That's not all, sir. You remember how Knight denied stealing the keys? No one believed him, considering, well, you know, he seemed kind of like the only suspect. Turns out that wasn't all he said. He also said he was knocked out cold, just like the other guy.
Which may not necessarily have been a lie. That's interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting wrinkle. Darlings, there you all are. How goes the investigation? Is there anything I can do to help things along? Actually, there might be something we can do for you, Warden Lagarde. The escapee, Mr. Carcerado, I believe he still may be on the premises. He is disguised as a guard. Here's the proof, should you need it. We're reasonably certain that the person captured on this tape is our man. And if I'm correct, he might even be right here in this room with us now. One of the other two guards. Hey, Mr. Carcerado would have been wearing a bracelet, right? Yes, a bracelet that could easily be hidden under the sleeves of his stolen uniform. Furthermore, the doors out of the prison proper don't have those sensors that detect the bracelets installed. So if he avoided doors with sensors, he could simply wait for an opportunity to finally make his escape. Well, yes, I suppose he could. He'd just have to avoid the workshops and the cells and... Oh my! He's one of you, isn't he? He's here right now! Look, it's Teddy.
Hey, paws off! Get your mitts off of me, you big pooka!
Thank you, Teddy. Very kind of you to confirm our suspicions.
Dang it, kid! If it wasn't for you, I'd
What a thing it is to be loved, huh, Mr. Carcerado? I'm almost envious. Guards! Apprehend this man! A moment, if you will. I have some questions for our would-be escapee. If we are to learn the truth, I will need to speak with him. With your permission, of course. I can hardly say no, now can I?
Well, come on then. Hit me with your best shot.
Mr. Carcerado's escape route led directly into Knight's cell. So it's highly possible he has something to offer. Tell me what you were doing on the day Mr. Knight's body was discovered. Oh, we're going into an actual, like... okay, interesting. Around the time of discovery.
So it was you guys, huh? You're the ones who found my secret getaway tunnel. You know how long it took me to dig that frickin' thing? I had me a guard's uniform, a hole dug, and a plan in place, so I went for it on the day you found the guy. But then this little guy just had to come right after me. That sack of fur was covered in mud, too. Had to go back to our cell. Ah, I would have gotten away with it if somebody had enough night and brought you bums down here.
You claim to have dug that tunnel just now. How exactly did you do it?
How? Used everything I could get my hands on, see? Hammers, spoons, you name it. Spent every dime I had on this cockamamie fixer. And what do I get to show for it now, huh?
Hehehe. Do not be disheartened, friend. Tomorrow is another day.
There's an outside chance Mr. Carcerado and Knight met face-to-face just before Knight's death. I should see what other details I can extract from him. Okay. So we should press, is what I'm hearing. Alright, secret getaway. Tunnel, you...
Shut up! Who you telling to hold it?
Tunnel, you said...
You don't know nothing. You don't know what I had to do. Had to come crawling to the fix-a-monk. Had to grovel and count out day after day after day. How you gonna give me back the hours, huh? The days? The months?
I can't get a word in edgewise.
You should have never stuck your noses in my tunnel. Never!
How long it took me to dig that freaking thing? So the tunnel was all your own work?
Every inch. You see anybody else in my cell when you was in there, huh?
That's quite an effort, even for an athlete. Yeah, now that I think of it, that is an insane amount of digging for one guy.
Yeah, well, you don't even know the half of it, kid. But it ain't like I had a choice. Trust nobody and don't get caught. Them's the rules the con's gotta live by.
Huh. You know, the rules of being a great thief are pretty similar. Okay, I'd rather you didn't start sympathizing with the suspect. I was just joking, Mr. Edgeworth.
Ain't no stinking joke to me. You punks owe me.
And me a guard's uniform, a whole dog, okay? The uniform, was that from the fixer too?
Uh-huh, sure was. Heard he had something on one of the guards. Had the guy swipe it from a pal's locker.
And were you wearing it when you were crawling through the tunnel?
Nope, would've got dirt on it. Had to hold on to it till I got to the holding cell. But once I was out of there and all dressed up, opening the cell door should have been a piece of cake. Here we go, I think. Freedom beckons. And then the furball here jumps up at me.
Which would be the moment captured on camera. I see. I'd be grateful if you could add that to your testimony. Opening the cell door should have been a piece of cake. Why? Why? It was already open? Interesting. Do I have anything? Deployed at the entrances. Let's see. Well, let's press again, I guess. Opening the cell door should have been a piece of cake, you say?
Sure! Anything seems easy after dragging yourself through a hole in the ground.
And you were familiar with the layout of the detention center, even though you live in the prison?
Why wouldn't I be? It ain't like I've never been there before.
If he's familiar with the detention center, then he'd surely be aware that unlike the doors in the main prison, the holding cell doors are locked with actual keys. And I'm sure Mr. Carcerado would have needed that particular piece of evidence to make his escape. Oh, he had the keys! But then this little guy just come right after me, okay? So, he had the key. When was it that you realized you were being pursued?
Right when I'd gotten out of the tunnel. Right when I thought I was home free. Ah!
You didn't notice anything before that? When you were in the tunnel, perhaps?
Nah, he wasn't around. I made sure of it. Knew the little guy would have been all over me like a rash if he had been. I was so close I could smell it, and then there he was, the little bum.
Hey, don't you think you're being a little mean to your friend? Poor Teddy.
Mean nothing. He rumbled me last time, and now he's rumbled me again. Kid's all over me. What am I supposed to do? Coming after me yesterday was bad enough.
Covered in mud, too. Had to go back to our cell. You didn't consider trying to escape with Teddy?
What if I coulda? But all that mud would have given us away. Chances to break out of the slammer don't exactly grow on trees, pal. When one comes along, you gotta do it right.
Foiled by the one who loves him most. It's almost tragic. There's an outside chance Mr. Carcerado and Knight met face-to-face just before his murder. I should listen carefully to each of his statements and look over the evidence we have. Okay? What about this one and all that? I think the keys on this one. Yeah. The keys. Yeah. You claim that leaving the holding cell would have been a piece of cake, as you put it.
Yeah? You got a problem with that? 'Cause we can make it a problem if you catch my drift.
Even once you had reached Knight's cell, you still had another door to contend with. How exactly did you plan on opening it? Mr. Carcerado, I posit that leaving the cell would have been a piece of cake only because you had the key.
Ugh, I don't got no stinking key. I didn't need one. It was a piece of cake because the door was open. I walked right out.
Yes, I suppose Knight's cell was vacant by that point. There would have been no reason to lock it. And it was indeed unlocked when I went to examine it for myself. So perhaps when you'd finally succeeded today, it truly was unlocked because it was after the murder. But you had attempted to escape previously. Yeah, the security footage shows when you tried and failed because Teddy caught you, which was during the circus performance, before the body was discovered. The holding cell was still locked at that time, because no one knew that Knight had been killed yet. Therefore, you must have had the key to his cell on you. Without it, your escape would not have been possible. Are you saying, could he really have? I believe he could, yes. The theft of the keys was in fact perpetrated by none other than Mr. Carcerado. He is the one who attacked the guard. Ah, but not just the guard. Knight too. All to gain possession of the guard's keys.
It wasn't me, you lousy bum. I didn't even know this Knight guy.
After you stole the keys, you went back to your cell to avoid suspicion. And then you waited for the perfect moment to escape. A moment when the prison would be almost deserted. That's right, the moment of the show, just before the discovery of the body. Unluckily for you, that particular attempt was thwarted by your furry friend.
Says who, huh? You got proof, genius? This ain't your win yet, nuh-uh. Knight knocked the guard out for the count and everybody knows it.
Don't play games with me. Knight was as much a victim as the guard in this case. As a matter of fact, I have proof that Knight had been attacked in his cell. The blood. The wiped floor, yep. We found traces of Knight's blood on the cleanly wiped floor of his cell. What could possibly explain such a thing other than him having been attacked? And it was you who attacked him. You ambushed the both of them and stole the keys.
Why, I oughta... What's with you, huh? That newspaper wiped that blood up good. Ain't no way you should have found it.
Okay, but why did you think you had to wipe it up anyway?
If they'd checked Knight in the guard's hands, they would have seen these two never came to blows. But that blood'd give up the whole game. Ain't no way they don't figure there was a third man in the ring. Plus, once they started sniffing around on the floor, they'd have found the tunnel in a heartbeat.
So you wiped up the blood to buy yourself a little more time, so you could wait for a better opportunity. Sadly, the opportunity you sought wasn't good enough to get you clear of the prison, it seems. Now, hand over the keys.
Right in the kisser.
Got him.
KO'd by a lousy, stinking bum. Fine. You want keys? Here. I hope you choke on them.
Mr. Knight's cell key data updated. Got it. He got beat up by logic. Wait a moment. If Mr. Carcerado here had the keys... Indeed, Your Honor. Your theory relies on Knight you having used the keys he allegedly stole to escape his cell. That was the only way he would have been able to enter Mr. Saint's cage and be moved to the workshop. Unfortunately for you, we now know that that theory cannot possibly be true.
Yeah. No! Wow.
Guess this changes things up a bit, yeah? Now the only person who could have moved Knight's body is the one person who knew about that tunnel.
No, you gotta be freaking... Mr. Carcerado, you're under arrest. Come quietly now, pal. Wait, you got the wrong guy. I didn't do nothing. All right, fine. I knocked those two chumps out and I stole the keys. But after that, I went right back to my cell and waited for my moment. Next time I went to Knight's cell, there was nobody around. And I mean no body. Plus, his body was found in the workshop. You think I just magicked my way in there or something? I couldn't even have gotten out of my cell.
Indeed. You only had the key to Knight's cell. You couldn't have left your own cell back in the prison, but Mr. Connis's dog could.
What?
It was not you, but Helmet, who moved the body from your cell to the workshop.
I get it now.
You're saying he wasn't the only con in this conspiracy. Indeed. One can easily imagine that Mr. Carcerado and Mr. Connis might have worked together. Mr. Carcerado could have killed Knight and dragged him back to his cell.
And then, Mr. Connis's dog took him from there to the workshop.
There are no restrictions on the animal's movements within the prison. Movement between the detention center and the prison proper, however, is tightly controlled. There was only one possible route, and only you could have taken advantage of it, Mr. Carcerado.
How can you be so sure, huh? Maybe there's more of them and you just don't know.
Something tells me that digging even a single tunnel was arduous enough.
You got that right. You try scraping more than one hole in the dirt with a spoon. Lucky for me, I didn't have to dig the whole way. Somebody already did a bunch of the work for me.
What? You didn't dig the entire tunnel yourself?
Nope. Found it when they put me in that cell. Ran all the way from there to the well in the yard already. Even looked down the well to check it from there. It was the same tunnel, all right. I just made good on what somebody else already started.
Then what was the original tunnel for?
Who knows? You're the one with all the answers, pal. Maybe somebody else tried to break out.
Oh, or maybe the animals dug it. Like, to get water from the well or something. I've heard of more plausible scenarios than that in B-grade movies, Kay.
Well's dry, kid. Ain't no water to be had down there. Though, come to think of it, a smell. Yeah, always smelled kind of nice down there.
Nice.
Gee, I don't know. Smelled sort of like dessert, I guess.
Sweet scent. That sounds very familiar. Where did we come across a sweet scent before? Good question. Oh yeah, on his body. They smelled a sweet scent, that's right. Detective Gumshoe noticed a sweet scent when we were examining Knight's body. With the help of a police dog, we followed the scent of the body and traced its route back through the prison. And that, Mr. Carcerado, was how we found your tunnel. Could that same scent be what you noticed coming from the well? Very clever, Mr. Edgeworth. You mean to suggest that this is evidence of the body having been moved through the tunnel? I do. Furthermore, Mr. Carcerado, you're the only person who could have done it. Nobody else had access. You have our thanks, Mr. Carcerado. Truly. Finally, the truth comes into view. Now, unburden yourself. It is time. Confess your role in this tragic incident.
What? You ain't pinning this on me!
I'm glad to see that we are finally in agreement, Your Honor. Oh, if only we were, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Carcerado may have been an accomplice, but not of Mr. Connis. No. He was working with Mr. Knight. What do you mean? I do not believe that he moved Mr. Knight's body. Instead, I believe that he let Mr. Knight the use of the keys he stole. You gotta be kidding me. Granted, it seems likely that he attacked Mr. Knight, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Mr. Knight was knocked unconscious as a result. And what if he wasn't? What if he and Mr. Carcerado had reached a certain agreement? What kind of agreement exactly? Mr. Knight was plotting an escape for which he required a means of leaving his cell. And here was that precise means, in the form of the keys Mr. Carcerado had just stolen from the guard. Mr. Carcerado himself would need to pass through Mr. Knight's cell in order to effect his own escape. Mr. Knight needed only to shout and alert the guards, and Mr. Carcerado's plans would be ruined. And so the two struck a deal.
Lady, the only striking I do was with my fists.
My, still you deny it?
So, we're agreeing that we still disagree?
Mr. Knight had Mr. Carcerado unlock his cell so that when Mr. Saint arrived, he could escape into the cage.
Ah, you're still on this!
You're still not gonna let this one go. Mr. Saint was then able to move him into the prison proper just as planned. Aha! And then he took Mr. Knight into the workshop and did the dirty deed. Were neither of you listening? The scent on Mr. Knight's body proved that it was taken through the tunnel. It was moved from his cell to the... Perhaps if you would let me finish, Mr. Edgeworth. I am not denying that Mr. Knight's body was moved through the tunnel.
Then what are you driving at? Is this a trick question?
As you say, Mr. Edgeworth, the sweet scent shows the route the body took. However, it did not enter the tunnel from Mr. Knight's cell.
Huh? Then how did it get down there?
There is another possibility, one you seem to have overlooked. The well in the yard. Could a body not have entered the tunnel from there? The well in the yard? Oh yeah, that thing! Mr. Saint did not take the key to the workshop. He took it outside. There he killed Mr. Knight and threw his body down the well. Mr. Connis's dog then dragged Mr. Knight's body here to his owner's cell from the bottom of the well. On that note, I would ask you to recall something. What was happening in the yard at the approximate time of the body's discovery? The circus show, right? Regina and Simeon were performing for everyone. Wait, Simeon! Ah! Ah, indeed. And so you see how it must also have been him who disposed of the body. Judge Gavelle is a truly formidable opponent. She has so effortlessly adjusted her theory to fit the facts. I propose that Mr. Knight was taken to the yard, not the workshop. And as we have established, Mr. Saint was off stage for 15 minutes. Ample time to throw the body down the well, I am sure you will agree. Your deduction is impressive, Your Honor. However, even supposing that Knight's body was indeed thrown down the well, you cannot conclusively say that it was during the show. It could have happened at a different time. My sympathies, Mr. Edgeworth, but it simply could not have. What? Mr. Carcerado was using the tunnel at around the time the show began. Mr. Carcerado, did you happen to trip over a corpse while you were down there?
No. Place was clean. Ugh.
If the body had been at the bottom of the well before the show began, Mr. Carcerado would have seen it. However, he saw no such thing. Which makes it somewhat difficult to support your theory. Furthermore, Mr. Knight's body was discovered in the workshop after the show. In summary, the body must have been thrown down the well and moved to the workshop at some point during the show. Tell me, who else could have done that but Mr. Saint?
Yeah.
Oh, what do we do, Mr. Edgeworth? The body did indeed enter the tunnel from the well. Things don't look good for Mr. Saint. Still, Your Honor, your theory is still just that, a theory. And I posit that you lack the evidence to back it up. I concede that for the moment, I do not. May I suggest that we investigate the yard again? Very well. May the goddess of justice go with you. Now then, to the yard. Perhaps we can finally put this case to rest. Huh? What's that sound? Yikes! Is there a fire?
Did somebody else escape? Should we maybe skip town too?
Darlings, please, there's nothing to be alarmed about. By which I mean that's not an alarm. It's the dinner bell. Although I suppose it is rather alarming if you aren't used to it. It certainly scared the heck out of me. I'm so sorry, Sweepy. I hope you can forgive us. All right, you two, back to your posts. Chop, chop. And as for you, Rocco Carcerado, it's time you went back to your room.
Yeah, fine. I get the picture. Come on, Teddy, we're out of here.
Warden Lagarde, I'd like to take one more look around the yard now. Oh, darlings, don't you have homes of your own to go to? Visiting hours are over, I'm afraid. Tomorrow, No. It's imperative that we investigate it right away. I think we've had quite enough excitement for one day, don't you? Murderers, escapees, so eventful. It's time our guests went home to Betty Buys, isn't it? Yes. Yes, it is. Ugh. Come on now, darlings, don't make me bore you with all the I'm the warden, this is an order nonsense. Warden Lagarde is right. Her word is law here, and we must respect her wishes. Mr. Edgeworth, your investigation of the yard will have to wait until tomorrow. You may keep your badge for now. The matter of your standing can wait. I bid you all good day. Okay, and there she goes. What are you waiting for, Kittykins? Off you go! Fine, at least there is a tomorrow for me. She did it? Oh, Lagarde. I wonder. He's awfully, pushy. Judge Gavelle believes that Knight's body was dropped down the well, and then taken through Mr. Carcerato's cell to the workshop. But is that truly the case? Do the facts really support her theory? She also seems to believe Mr. Saint had to be the one to move the body. But was he really the only one with the opportunity to do so? Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, tomorrow's another day. We'll figure out a way to save Simeon. I know we will. Yes, we will. I will prove that Mr. Saint is innocent, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Alright, to be continued. More like immediately continued. Let's go. Alright, March 29th, 10:12 a.m. Prison Yard. Here we are again. Let's hope we can find something this time that will reveal the truth behind it all. Although that might be easier said than done. There's nothing left to investigate. Judge Gavelle's deduction yesterday. What did he say? The well? Yeah, okay. This is, if you skipped, or if you took a few days off, just to summarize. Her opinion. At some point during the show, right, got thrown down the well, possibly. Had Knight's body really been thrown down the well? The answer to that question will surely show us the way forward. But before we begin, I should tidy up my organizer a little. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. Okay. Let's see here. Huh? There's a cover on it. A dried up well slap bang in the middle of a prison. Figures it'd be locked. Well, luckily, I'm a master lockpicker. Want me to do my stuff? You're a master of unlocking? Whoa. I think not. We'll do this investigation by the book. Come on, don't be such a stick in the mud. Whoa! What is it, Kay? The lock's broken. And from the looks of it, it's been broken for a long time. If that's the case, then anyone could have thrown Knight's body down the well. Judge Gavelle's theory was that Mr. Saint carried out the murder here in the yard, and then, during the performance, he threw the body down the well. What are you thinking, Mauserino? Plausible or no? Oh, why don't we see if Mizzle can help us out again? He'll be able to tell if Mr. Knight's body was here, and which way it went. Good idea. I'll call Detective Gumshoe.
Gumshoe speaking!
Detective, I need your assistance. Come to the prison yard and bring Missile with you.
You betcha! Gumshoe's 7 secret weapons to the rescue again, huh?
I'm fairly sure Missile belongs to the precinct. I'd also like you to bring one of our witnesses. Call the Berry Big Circus and ask Miss Regina Berry to come down here with you.
Yes, sir! I'll be there before you know it!
So, what shall we do while we're waiting for Gummy? How about a quick game of hide-and-go-seek? Fun idea, kiddo, but where exactly would we hide? He's not seriously considering it. Your game can wait, Kay. We need to call on one of your more practical skills. I think you know the one. Oh, you bet I do. One crime scene recreation coming right up. Say what now? Let me show you. Introducing a great thief's great secret weapon, Little Thief. Whoa, screen's appearing from thin air. This is some next level text, little sis. You want to talk me through the deets? What are you doing now? I'm inputting everything we need for the simulation. Allow me to explain. This is Mr. Thief. It's a device that can recreate crime scenes at specific moments in time based on the data you feed it. How about I start us off with a recreation of what the yard looked like yesterday? Edgeworth just cannot get names right. I love it. Good idea. That was when they were in the middle of tearing down the stage. We didn't pay much attention to the well then. Who knows? We may have overlooked something. Leave it to me. I'll use the photo I took. Beepity beep beep boop beep. That's all the data. Just gotta pump the projection power to max and... Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Now witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Yipes! What is this? It's a recreation of how things were yesterday, modeled on the data I gave Little Thief. This gadget was a tool used by the original Yatagarasu, but they used it to plan robberies. Well, there's no harm in using it for something on the right side of the law now. Oh, but keep in mind that it can only recreate what you tell it to. It can't simulate things it doesn't have data for, and if the data itself contains mistakes, then you'll wind up with those same mistakes in the recreation too. But this particular recreation is based on case photo, so we shouldn't run into any problems. That's enough preamble. Shall we get started? Alright, prison yard. Don't forget, you can examine stuff in the recreation just like in real life. You can also present evidence to try to clear up any inconsistencies you find. Of course. Thank you for the reminder. Now let's take a look at that well. Of course, we're just gonna lightly mention the Yatagarasu because, again, it is illegal to talk about events specifically that happened in previous games. Let's talk to, you here. The Great Thief's secret weapon. Color me intrigued, Mauserino. Not exactly by the book stuff, though, yeah. Using Great Thief doodads in an official investigation. Whoa, enough with the death stares, Chief. I'm cool, okay? I can keep a secret. Anything for the truth, am I right? It's possible that vital evidence has already been destroyed. Without Kay's reproduction of the scene, we have no hope of finding it. Hey, relax! Like I said, I'll just zip it, not politely, while you cats do your thing. Thank you. That would be very helpful. Alright, let's talk to the elephant. What was the name of our trunk-happy friend again? Asia, the Asian elephant. Of course, how could I forget? Not exactly inspired, though, is it? Was Miss Berry having an off day when she came up with it? Oh my gosh, Mr. Edgeworth, not in front of the poor elephant herself. You can't just ask it why its name is Asia. A wicker basket, rather a cart, given the wheels. Hey, wouldn't it be fun to hop in and race it down a hill? Oh, you know what else would be fun? Racing down a hill on office chairs. Where did any of that come from? This door appears to be locked. Want me to open it? Can't guarantee anything, but I'll certainly give it a try. No, if we deem it necessary, we will simply ask for the key. Spoiled sport, that could have been my chance to shine. You're free to shine somewhere else, but you'll not make an audience out of me. Alright, and then this is the stage. Yes, this is where the circus show stage stood. Do you think people would be interested in a great thieving show? I'm sure the police would be very eager to attend. A great thief show. Those chairs must have been for the audience. Wow. I pity whoever had to put them all away. Really? Why? Ha! You've clearly never had to fold up a bunch of boring chairs before, huh? Not personally. I've told other people to do it, though. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. You gotta roll up your sleeves and help out once in a while. Well, consider it. What else we got over here? Yes. We should examine this area carefully. It may just hold the clue we need. Maybe we shouldn't rest while we're doing it. It's a metal weight of some kind. It looks like it weighs... The projection makes it a little tricky to read. Do you remember how heavy it was, Kay? It says 30 pounds on it very clearly. Sure, it was 30 pounds. Okay. What does anyone need such a heavy weight for, anyway? It doesn't seem related to the circus show, at any rate. What about the rope? There's a sturdy-looking hemp rope lying on the ground. Kind of reminds me of the ropes we used for playing tug-of-war in school. The answer is no, Kay. What? I didn't even say anything! Yet. I see it also has a metal stake attached to one end. Oh yeah! It looks like something you'd use to put up a tent. The music just stopped, too. It's like Edgeworth's like, no, we are not playing tug-of-war. But there was no tent, was there? In which case, what was it used for? And this is the tarp. What are a bunch of pulleys doing here? They don't seem to be, well, pulleys for lifting buckets. Yeah, what's that about? And then the well. The well was behind the stage, which means there aren't many people who could have thrown Knight's body down it during the show. This is looking worse and worse for Mr. Saint. So what do you think all the stuff around the well was used for? Right. That's a good question. I can't see any of the animals needing them for their part of the performance. Indeed. Nothing immediately strikes me as a likely purpose. We'll have to ask Miss Berry later. I suspect that's about all there is to find for now. Detective Gumshoe should be here soon, too. Okay, you can power down Mr. Thief now. Sure thing. Prepare to return to normality. He's still calling him Mr. Thief. Investigation? Wait.
Sorry, sir. I came as quick as I could.
Huh. Speak of the devil. Ah, detective. That was indeed impressively quick.
You know me, sir. Never did like to keep you waiting.
Thanks for coming all this way, too, Regina. No problem. This seemed way more fun than rehearsals, so I ditched them for the day. It's very much appreciated. All right, detective, let's get started with Missile.
Yes, sir. Hey, Missile. Over here, boy. What's the matter? Come on, boy. Come on.
What's wrong with him?
Looks like he's scared of something, sir.
The crocodile?
Eek! Alligator. Guess he's not a fan, sir.
Well, I doubt he'll be much of help to us like this. Any other bright ideas, Malzerino? Yes, actually, Miss Berry. Would you mind lending us a hand? Oh, I'd love to. Just tell me what you need. Do you want me to teach Allie some tricks? I don't doubt she could do it, but... Nothing quite like that. It's simply like an account of what the yard looked like during the show. I like where this is going. You're thinking of using Little Thief again, am I right? If you'd be so kind. Okay, I'm plugged in all the data, firing up the simulation. Here you go. This is what the yard was like during the show. The time at which the body was purported to have been thrown down the well. Oh wow, this is so amazing. It's like magic. Hey, no magic here. Just sweet, sweet data. Which is why... The area behind the stage is missing. Yeah, Regina said she wasn't involved in getting the stage set up. So we don't have any data on what it was like back there. No data, no simulation, huh? Brutal. I'm so sorry, you guys. It's all because I let Simeon do everything by himself. Oh, no. It's all my frilly associate's fault.
Objection, Fender.
Anyway, we've got a fresh simulation now, but we still have the other data too. I can switch back whenever you want to the recreation of them taking down the stage. So we can examine the scene both during and after the show, and switch between the two at will. I can switch between recreations by using T, to talk with K. Now then, let's continue our investigation, shall we? All right, let's see. There's Simeon. A story of forbidden love between a tiger and an elephant. Wish I could have seen it. Wish I could have seen Simeon up there on stage, too. Oh, he was wonderful. Well, he flew off that stage. Ah, yes, that scene. The victory is depicted in a very unique manner, whereby the villain is sent flying from the stage. Having been ejected from the stage in this manner, the villain no longer appears in the performance. And you're saying the crime took place during that time? Roughly how long would you say Mr. Saint was off stage for, Miss Berry? Let's see. I guess it was around 15 minutes? Just as Judge Gavelle said. Isn't it pretty hairy health and safety-wise having an elephant fling a guy off the stage? Not at all. Hazy is very gentle. I'm not sure it changes much if she flings him gently or roughly. Too gentle, in fact. When we first rehearsed it, she barely nudged him. But by the end, he was flying off that stage. Not because of Asia, though. Simeon had figured out some kind of trick, apparently. Isn't that amazing? A trick? Do you have any idea what kind of trick? Who, me? Oh, no. It was Simeon's big thing. I wouldn't know where to start. Ah! I bet all that equipment was part of it. Okay. There's the tiger. There's the doggy.
It's as bad as it looks, poor little guy's scared out of his skin.
I'd hope to have him track that scent again, but that clearly isn't in the cards now. Alright, and then this is the unknown. It would appear that we're missing some data for this point in time. Yep, that's about the size of it. You gotta go steal us some data. I don't steal data, Kay. I use logic and deduction to get what I need. Well, I'm more of an act first, think later kind of gal. Please don't add to my workload with your recklessness. I would hate to have to order your arrest. Alright, there's the alligator. This pond is home to Warden Lagarde's beloved alligator. And look, those bones must be from her latest meal. I somehow doubt an alligator could pick a carcass clean like that. You think? I got the feeling she was rather ladylike in her own way, actually. If you say so. Well, I do. I kind of have a sixth sense for these things. An interesting talent, though not one I'm particularly envious of. Alright, what about this? The basket was empty in the other recreation. Oh yeah, but it was definitely empty in the photo I took too. Oops, sorry. I made a mistake when I was filling you in earlier. Oh? That basket's for holding Asia's food, but on the morning of the show, all the apples that were in it had vanished. Poof! I totally forgot to mention it. Sorry. Disappearing apples. I should make a note of this. Oh, that's weird. Okay. I think we have plenty of logic to go off of. The chairs are lined up neatly for the show, though we know there were a few empty seats during the performance. Huh? Something about this space, the way the seats are arranged, reminds me of a karaoke contest I entered as a kid. You entered a karaoke contest? I sure did, and I came in second. Even in the depths of night, when no other bird dares to take flight. One alone soars to shine the light of righteousness on the world's blight. Tell me you didn't actually sing that. I sure did! She did well to take second place, or perhaps stole is more apt. Or is it more that she failed to steal first place? I'm overthinking this. Yeah, alright. Gumshoe, what do you gotta say?
Don't say a word, sir. I just know what you're looking for. It's written all over your face.
It is?
Missile may be temporarily out of action, but my fishing rod is good to go whenever you need it. Oh, and if you want to give the metal detector a shot, I have that too.
Ah, nice. I've never seen him so excited. Be sure to let you know if I need either of them, Detective. Yeah, it is very Team Rocket, isn't it? It is very, very Team Rocket. So do you come to visit the prison often, Rosina? I sure do. I have so many little friends here. It's wonderful. And they're all such sweeties, the old faces and the new. I made a new friend only yesterday. Allie is just the cutest. Cute? That full-grown alligator looking in the depths of the pond? Are you sure about that? Can't help worrying you could just come up and then chomp, you know? Oh, don't be silly. She'd never do anything like that. Especially since she's not doing great. I heard she hasn't been herself since yesterday. I'm so worried about her. You guys are worried too, right? Right? Yeah, totally. Super worried, right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes. Super.
Don't roll me into this. All right, time for some logicking. All right, so here's what a thought I have. The Mr. Saint's big moment and the items around the well. Pulleys, a rope, and a weight. That has something to do with this, I think. Yes. The trick Mr. Saint performed for his big scene. Could it have something to do with all the items we found by the well? Okay, I'd like to have another look at the equipment around the well from yesterday. Can you have Mr. Thief bring up the recreation from when they were tearing down the stage? You got it! She says not corrected him. I love it. Taking another look at these items, could they not have been used for this trick of Mr. Saint's? Sounds plausible enough. Hey, I could maybe add it to the simulation. Good idea. Please go and mask Mr. Saint for the details. Roger that. I'll be right back. And off she goes. I'm back, and he told me exactly how he did it. Excellent. Well, how does it work? He said he used the pulley at the top of the well to suspend a heavy weight from the rope, and lowered that down into the well. The other end of the rope went through 2 more pulleys, and was tied around his body. I see, so he used the downward pull of the weight to launch himself into the air. But how did he make sure the weight only dropped what he wanted it to? He used a stake to stop it, that's how. Miss Berry didn't seem to know anything about the trick or the contraption he built for it. In which case, I suppose it must have been Mr. Saint himself who pulled out the stake. That's right! And to do that, he used a second length of rope. He tied it to the stake, and then when he gave it a sharp tug, the stake was released and the weight dropped down the well. It's a great trick. I have to steal it. This one has to go in the Great Thief's repertoire. It may not be quite that easy. These kinds of circus tricks can require years of practice to master. Simply stealing the idea won't be enough. All right, practice it is then. Well, before you run away to do so, would you mind updating the simulation? Oh, right. Then we can see how it all worked for ourselves. Okay, I'm switching back to the recreation of the performance. All right, it's going to be updated now, so let's see. And now to add in the data. Little Thief should be able to reproduce the trick now. All right. So this is how Mr. Saint performed his trick. Mr. Saint's trick data jotted down in my organizer. Cool. Simeon's full of surprises, huh? I mean, dropping a weight down a well to help him fly off the stage like that? That's genius. Indeed, but I imagine he would have needed quite a lot of weight. More than him, at the very least. It would have taken some serious pull to lift him into the air like that. Okay. Yeah, and probably a ton of practice. Yeah, that's interesting. So there's more we gotta figure out. Something heavier than Saint. Let's see. Food for Asia that was in the cart until the day before the show was gone by next morning. The 30-pound weight. Is this the pulling force, the 30-pound weight? Gotta be more than that, right? Let's see. Oh, it did work. Okay. Wait, doesn't this seem odd to you? No? You haven't noticed, Detective? There's something strange about the weight we found. How heavy it is, how there's only one, and what it's made of. Is it... Okay, my immediate thought is not so much how heavy it is, but how heavy it isn't. Because it's only 30 pounds. how there is only one, or what it's made of. Well, what it's made of doesn't matter, just it's a weight. How there's only one, that one is suspicious, but how heavy it is also interesting. Again, on the tact of, it's only 30 pounds. I think that's what we're supposed to go for, so let's go ahead and select it and see if that goes along with the thinking that we think we got here. The one weight on its own wouldn't be heavy enough. Okay. A single 30-pound weight couldn't have lifted Mr. Saint off the ground.
Oh yeah!
In which case, could there perhaps be some weights missing?
Sounds like a job for my 7 secret weapons, sir.
Should the need to use them arise, I suppose I should speak with him then. Can we talk to him now? Or should we... Let's see. Metal detector and insufficient weight. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah. Detective, I have need of one of your secret weapons.
Roger that!
The metal detector, if you would be so kind. No, the fishing pole.
Oh, geez, I'm never gonna get to use my fishing rod. So before we get started, let me run you through how the metal detector works, sir. It's simple enough. It uses this sound and this gauge to tell you how close you are to something made of metal. The closer you get, the more strongly it'll react. When it starts going wild like this, just give me the order to examine the spot where I'm standing. Say, what do we got here? Oh, the fence. Anyway, that's how it all works. You tell me where you want me to look, sir, and I'll get right on it.
Oh my gosh, we're playing as Gumshoe. Wild. Let's see.
I found something. There's something here, sir.
I don't see anything metallic. What did the detector pick up?
Guess it must have just picked up some iron sand.
Iron sand? Isn't sand you can pick up with a magnet?
That's the stuff. You can find it at the beach sometimes. And I just got the thing we need right here. Introducing secret weapon number 67.
Are you making this up as you go along?
A seemingly ordinary magnet that I found at the hardware store. Watch this. I just bring it close to the ground and ta-da! It's picking out the iron. Whoa! Come on, little guys. Come to Papa.
It must be nice to be so easily entertained. Regardless, the investigation must continue. Finally, the real protagonist is playable. That's right. All right,
let's get back to it.
That is clearly the basketball. Let's see. Detective, there will be time to chat later. We have an investigation to conduct.
Yes, sir.
Let's see, what about... Wait. We were picking...
We're getting warmer, but it's still weak, sir.
Don't scan the witnesses, that's right.
We're close, sir. There's something metallic nearby.
Is it... Right there.
I got something. There's something here, sir. Oh! It's a gold coin, sir. What a find. It'll go down in history.
I don't imagine a gold coin would stay hidden long in a prison yard. Oh, you found it. Never would have guessed it was hiding there this whole time. That's one of the coins from the big old coin hunt we hold once every 2 weeks.
Hey, that sounds kind of interesting. It must be fun for the whole family.
Sure is. The prisoners have to hunt for the coins the warden buried around the yard. And if they find 3 silver coins and 1 gold coin, they can swap them for a jelly donut. First the show, and now a treasure hunt. Is this a prison or a playground? Yeah, seriously. All right, so we've struck out so far. Let's see. I mean, that's the gate, right? So it's over here.
We're getting warmer, but it's still weak.
Okay. We're still weak. Oh, there's something over here.
Sir, I'm picking up something over here.
Let's take a little look.
See, huh? Found these little guys in the grass.
They're the same as the weight we found by the well. They must be from Mr. Saint's trick. Did someone hide these here on purpose?
I count 4 altogether, sir.
They would be more than heavy enough to send him flying. So somebody had several of the same weights as the one by the well. But why? Why over here?
Yes! Nice work, me! Eee!
He doesn't know about the alligator. Alligator!
That thing nearly gave me a heart attack.
Huh? What's the matter, detective?
It's the metal detector, sir. It's, reacting to the alligator.
What? How? Don't tell me it has a clock in its mouth. You sure it's not responding to the weights we just found?
No, sir. I'm sure this is something different. And I'm sure it's coming from the alligator.
And she's gone. Ha! We scared that big snapper good. I don't think that's it, Kay. Huh? Then what is it? Allie hasn't been herself lately. That's the name? Ellie, the warden's favorite pet. She wouldn't even look at the food Warden Lagarde brought her yesterday. She was acting as if, I don't know, as if maybe she'd eaten something that didn't agree with her.
Maybe the metal detector was responding to whatever she ate, sir.
Oh no, what if she ate one of the weights? I highly doubt that even an alligator could swallow a 30-pound lump of iron. So what did the metal detector actually pick up? And why would someone hide those weights? Perhaps I missed something when I looked at the equipment by the well. Kate, could you recreate the scene again?
Coming right up!
Alright, let's look over here again. I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Alright. Weights. Deduce, right? And we can look up too, right? Let's see. Alright, and then there's this. It looks like this was designed for raising and lowering a bucket. No sign of the bucket, though. Alright. Is that the only important thing here? I guess so. There's nothing of interest here. Let's pop down. Alright, and look down. So we got... Is it the weights? Could this be related to the evidence somehow? Mr. Saint's trick, a contraption that used the well, a very heavy weight, 3 pulleys, and 2 lengths of rope to send Saint flying during the show. Hang on. Use the well, a very heavy weight, 3 pulleys, 2 lengths of rope. Okay? So what do we got here? 2 pulleys, 1 length of rope. Is what I'm seeing, right? And the weights are missing. There's 2 pulleys. Oh, there's the 3rd pulley. So the rope. The rope is missing. Yeah, there's a problem with it. Let's see, we got it. Think about the 2 recreations, the one during the performance and the one we're looking at right now. There's a major difference between the 2. Namely, that one of the ropes is missing. Oh yeah! Mr. Saint's trick wouldn't work with only the items we see before us. So what happened? Where did the missing rope go? I think one of the pieces of evidence we've collected might tell us exactly that. Really? What shows us where the missing rope went? The rope. On his body. This rope was found beside Knight's body. Wait, you mean... Yes, it must have been the other rope used in Mr. Saint's trick. So you're saying, yes, that this rope did indeed have a weight attached to it. But it wasn't any of the iron weights we found. Those were hidden in the bushes and replaced with something else. What was it, Mr. Edgeworth? Come on, I'm dying here. Think about what the rope we found in the workshop was related to. Do that and you'll soon figure out the answer. The weight dropped down the well in place of the iron weights was Mr. Knight's body. can only have been Knight's body that was dropped down the well. What? Mr. Knight's body was the weight? Yes. Somebody first swapped out the weights used for Mr. Saint's trick. Then Mr. Saint used the contraption to make his exit from the stage. When he let the rope around his body loose, both the rope and Knight's body fell to the bottom of the well. That rope was never used to restrain Knight. It was used to suspend his body halfway down the well. From this, we can easily see why most of the weights were hidden. So that no one would realize they'd been replaced with the body. Precisely. We can then further deduce that they were hidden by the killer.
Whoa there, gang. Wasn't poor old Bronco stabbed in the neck? Wouldn't there be blood everywhere, including down the well?
Oh, the killer thought of that, which is why they used this. What did the killer use to stop Knight's blood from going everywhere? The bloody tarp. This tarp was found with the body. I think it's likely that Knight's corpse was wrapped in it.
Oh, another piece of the puzzle falls into place. It's all coming together now. Love it.
But all we're doing is proving that the body did go down the well. Which means we're helping to prove that Simeon was the killer. No, not quite. But what about what Judge Gavelle said yesterday? But if Mr. Saint truly is the killer, why would he need to go to such lengths to commit his crime? That's true. Knight's body fell down the well when Mr. Saint used his contraption during the show. Therefore, it reveals nothing about where the real killer actually was or what they were doing at the time. It's only designed to throw suspicion onto those who were not at the show. Yeah, I guess we did suspect Mr. Canis right away, huh? That was the killer's goal, to make us think that the crime took place during the show. In other words, they used the well contraption to construct an alibi. Miss Berry, when exactly did Mr. Saint put his contraption together? It would have been the day before the show. The night before, actually. Yes, we started getting ready for the show at around 9 p.m. And I think we finished at around midnight? In which case, the killer must have switched the weights out for the body after that point. Mr. Saint's trick data updated. Cool. Okay. Did Canis know about this contraption? Even if he did, he wouldn't have been able to do much with it. And I highly doubt he taught his dog to suspend bodies halfway down wells. Really? I don't know. Which means Canis isn't the killer. That's a pretty talented dog. Alright, what else we got? The body was left dangling inside the well the night before the incident. Asia the elephant and disappearing apples. We have the... okay. Yeah, do not underestimate Helmet. Helmet's he's got some skills, you know? Let's see. Is it too simple to just say that the elephant ate the apples? Like, that would be my first immediate thought. But let's try it. The apples in the basket were likely eaten by Asia. Really? That's strange. I made sure to put the cart where her trunk couldn't reach them. Are you sure about that? Oh yes, it was still full of apples that night before the show. Then we must consider the possibility that the cart was moved to somewhere within Asia's reach. A large basket full of apples couldn't have been moved by the wind, which likely means somebody moved it for a reason. Okay. So before the show had even started, the cart had been moved and its apples eaten. Yes, that seems to be the most probable timeline. Let's update the recreation, okay? Will do. I'll add that into the simulation of the performance then. Let me just change back to that recreation first. Updating based on what Regina told us now. There, all done. Alright. Power room. This door appears to be locked. When I open it, can't hear anything. No, if we deem it necessary, we'll simply... Is this the same? Yeah. This is the, same conversation, but it was acting like it was new. You tricked me, game. It's the pen that held Asia, the Asian elephant. Now empty, as the lady herself is on stage. Hello. Welcome. We're chugging along here. We're doing great. Wonder how they got her in here in the first place. What do you mean? Well, the entrance to the yard is people-sized. And there's like a gazillion megawatts pumping through that fence. Kind of risky, no? Not if one turned off the electricity. Yeah, but then all the prisoners would escape. Through an entrance blocked by an elephant? I think not. This is a real puzzler, all right. I'll need to give it some more thought. She seems to be enjoying the challenge. I'll leave her to it. Little wonder it smelled of animals. It was being used for the elephant. To hold Azia's apples, right? Yep, it was full of them the day before the show. So they vanished overnight. Oh, did you figure something out, Mr. Edgeworth? Quite possibly. Alright. So, what else we got here? We got that. What else? We can look at this. That's one heavy weight. Kind of makes you think how much this must all be weighing on Simeon. It does? I'm not sure I quite see it myself. Oh? Too bad we don't have the real thing here. Otherwise, I'd hang it around your neck like a big old albatross. Then we'll see how you like it. You'd face some stiff resistance if you tried, I can promise you that. Okay. What else we got? Mr. Saint used the weld to construct a contraption that would send him flying from the stage. It made clever use of 2 ropes. 2 ropes? But in the teardown recreation, wasn't there only... I should try switching to the other simulation and double check. Okay, that was a clue for earlier, I think. This tarp, it's just like the one we saw in the workshop. This tarp, it's just like the one we saw in the workshop. Yes, but why is it here? But why is it here? Are you okay, Mr. Edgeworth? You've gone kind of blank. And I intend to stay blank until you stop stealing my thoughts. It's just the Ace Attorney protagonist thing, okay? Everyone can read your mind. Just relax. Happens to all of us. A pulley and a rope. I suppose the two tend to go together. They sure do, like a great thief and her treasure. Can't have one without the other. Sorry, but the proper pairing in this case is a great thief and a set of handcuffs. Okay, so I think we got... Don't believe there's any more to be found here. Okay, well then we're done. Let's see. We got... I guess we have some logicking left, right? What do we think? Body used his weight and basket of apples? The basket was moved by someone the night before the show. Did they use the basket to transport his body? Is that it? Let's see. Yes. Okay. The basket was moved the night before the circus performance. And we've deduced that the weights were switched out for the body at around the same time. Hard to chalk up that to coincidence, huh? Then the next question we should be asking is, why was the cart moved? I think I can hazard a guess. The cart would have been blocking that door. Which can only mean that somebody needed to open it. Now let's see what's... Oh, great, it's locked. Let me ask a guard for help. Hey, Mr. Guard!
Yes, miss, what can I do for you?
That was fast. Guard, where is the key for this door?
Oh, the warden keeps hold of that. I'll go ask her for it.
Warden Lagarde is the only one with a key. Meaning if somebody did open the door, they would have had to get it from her somehow. Thanks for the help. Look at all these breakers. They must control the electricity for the whole prison. So we're thinking somebody got in here the night before the show, right? But why? What were they trying to do? Well, I doubt they came here by mistake thinking it was a break room. They must have come to tamper with the switches. The break room. Oh, I get it. Haha. Did they turn off the power to something? Come to think of it, wasn't there something that lost power? What might have lost power had a breaker been flipped? Security camera footage. There was a 3-hour gap in the security camera footage. Oh yeah, there was! So somebody flipped the breaker was connected to?
It seems very likely.
Do you think it was the killer? It's true that shutting off the cameras would have made things easier for them. It would! Which means the killer would have to be someone who had access to the breakers. And it seems only one person has the key. It couldn't be. Could it? Oh, I think it could. Alright, breakers. Alright, little thief, your work here is done. Bye, little thief, you were great. Investigation complete. Oh, it's them. First on the scene, the early bird wins the worm.
Good morning, Mr. Winner.
What? You? How'd you get here before me?
Good morning, Mr. Edgeworth. I see you've made an early start.
And I see you've made a late one, Judge Gavelle.
This is not my only case. I am a very busy woman. Not all of us enjoy the freedom of a prosecutor, relieved of his only responsibility. Oh, I do apologize. I meant, of course, an associate attorney.
Associate. More like asinine.
Asinine attorney. Wait, wasn't there like a comedy series that was called Phoenix Wright Asinine Attorney or something like that? We'll see about that.
Eustace, let us begin the investigation of the yard.
Okay, I'll go get some officers to help.
That won't be necessary.
Why not?
We've already finished investigating the yard and won quite the prize in the process.
Won? But I'm supposed to be the winner.
Your Honor, I'd like to revisit your theory from yesterday in order to thoroughly disprove it.
I would caution you to choose your words carefully, Mr. Edgeworth, as I'm sure you remember your badge is in my hands.
How could I forget? You've told me several dozen times already. Perhaps you'd care to try a different threat.
You have been warned repeatedly, yes, and each time, my words seem to have fallen on deaf ears. Allow me to make this crystal clear. The committee cannot and will not tolerate insubordination.
The fate of my badge and the whims of the committee are of no concern to me now.
The only thing that concerns me
is proving Simeon Saint's innocence.
Interesting. And spoken like a true defense attorney. In that case, I shall be equally uncompromising. In the name of the goddess of justice, I will strike down your case without mercy. And when I am done, your career as a prosecutor will be over as well. I hope you do not come to regret this.
Alright, here we go. Judge Gavelle's theory.
My theory remains the same as it was when I was related to you yesterday. Mr. Carcerado did not see Mr. Knight's body when he passed through the tunnel. As such, the body could have only been dropped down the well during the show. We both know the only one who could have dropped the body down there during the show was Mr. Saint.
Aha! That's still your assertion, and you can prove it, of course.
Of course you can! Who do you think you're up against?
What Eustace means to say is that we received the final autopsy report just ahead of our arrival. She really is a very busy woman. Busy looking after baby Winner. The victim appears to have died the night before the body was discovered. In other words, the night before the show. The cause of death is as stated. Seems the wound is 4 inches deep.
Okay.
The estimated time of death is between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. on the 27th. Simeon Saint was off stage for a period of 15 minutes. That was plenty of time for him to throw the victim's body down the well.
Judge Gavelle hasn't investigated the yard yet, which means I fear there may be something of flaw with your theory, Your Honor.
You seem very confident of that, but do you have any evidence to prove it?
Yes, I think I just might. Judge Gavelle's theory. All right. Well, Let's see. We already have something to hit the last statement she made there, I thought. Let's go look at it real quick. Body could only have been dropped down the well during the show. What is it? We both know the only one who could have dropped the body down there during the show is Mr. Saint. Okay. Alright, that's old stuff. The trick, right? Send Saint flying. The weights replaced with the victim's body, right? We got this. The breaker, I don't think, is an immediate rebuttal to that statement. I think it's the trick. So, the only one who could have dropped it was Mr. Saint, but Saint was in the show before that happened. So let's see. Sorry, Your Honor, but there's something else you're going to have to take into account. The well in the yard was rigged up to create a certain unique contraption. A contraption? Go on. You will recall that Mr. Saint was sent flying from the stage by the elephant. I do. Just before he was to be absent for some time. He was only able to fly through the air thanks to a weighted rope he tied around himself. Dropping the weighted end down the well allowed him to complete the trick. Wait, wouldn't that send him flying as soon as he set foot on the stage? It's simple, really. He kept the weight from falling by using a stake to keep the rope in place. With a second rope, he was able to pull the stake free, thereby controlling when the weight was dropped. We have found evidence to suggest that the original weight was replaced with Knight's body. This was done by the real killer in order to create an alibi. The estimated time of death tells us that the murder took place early in the morning. The killer could have tampered with the contraption in the time between the murder and the show. You're saying Mr. Saint himself set this contraption up, right? Well then, who do you think is the number one most likely person to have used it to dispose of a body, huh? Even you must see how this looks. If Mr. Saint was the killer, he could have simply done as Judge Gavelle theorized, without these extra steps. Miss Berry. Yes? Does anyone else know how Mr. Saint's trick works? Well, let's see. We had to get the prison's approval on what we were going to perform. So I don't think Simeon's the only one who knows. And there you have it. Interesting. You have certainly been diligent in your investigation. And yet I fail to comprehend your actions still. Why do you not work to do what is right? Is what I'm doing wrong? If so, who is it that deems it so? How can you not grasp even that? How can you not see that you are doing wrong at this very moment? You are a prosecutor, and yet you aid the defense. This flies in the face of common sense. You are breaking every rule in the book. I think only of what is right and just, and act as I see fit in each situation I am confronted with. This is the path I have chosen, and whether you can comprehend that choice is immaterial. But if you mean to stand in my way, I will fight back with all I can bring to bear. Perhaps the goddess of justice is testing me. Very well, if it is her will that we must fight. Then I shall end this once and for all. Listen well, Mr. Edgeworth, for there is another reason why only Mr. Saint can be the killer. Alright, part 2 here. Why Saint is the suspect? If the body was moved from the yard to the workshop, then Mr. Knight must have first been brought here to the yard from his cell. The only person who had the opportunity to do that is Simeon Saint, and thus he remains the only plausible suspect. Ooh, okay. Is that true? Mr. Saint took a cage with him to Mr. Knight's cell. But why would he do that? Why take such an unwieldy object all the way to the holding cell? Yeah, it is pretty sus. But we've all met Mr. Saint. That's exactly the kind of thing he would do. It's entirely plausible that he took the cage with him out of absent-mindedness and nothing else. It may be plausible, but is it no more or less plausible than him having helped Mr. Knight to escape? Ugh! I need some real solid evidence if I'm going to get her to budge. Alright. Alright, the body was moved. Let's see. You seem to think that Mr. Knight was killed here in the yard. When do you think he was brought here? Sometime between midnight and 8 a.m., the day of the show. It could only have been during that time. In other words, between the end of rehearsal and the start of the performance. As I was saying, if the body was moved from the yard to the workshop, then Mr. Knight must have first been brought here, right? Was there really no other way he could have come here? Mr. Knight was awaiting trial. If he, a random non-inmate, had openly entered the prison proper, he surely would have been noticed. And presumably none of your witnesses have testified to having seen such a thing. Precisely. Praise be to the goddess of justice for granting you this insight. So, as you will agree, it can only be that Mr. Knight was brought over here in secret. The only person who had the opportunity to do this is Simeon Saint. Okay? You're certain nobody else had the opportunity? Need I remind you that we are in a prison? The entire facility is monitored at all times. Anything out of the ordinary would have been spotted. But Mr. Saint was under the same scrutiny, was he not? And the warden had granted the members of the circus troupe special access. As a member of that troupe, under the supervision of Miss Barry, he is the only person who was free to wander where he willed. It seems you've forgotten something, Your Honor. Forget is not a word in my vocabulary, Mr. Edgeworth. Very well. Then recall this fact, if you will. You claim that Mr. Saint is the only person who was free to walk around the prison. But there was a brief period of time on the day of the crime in this prison. A time when it would have been possible for anyone to move through the prison entirely unmonitored. What do I have that shows that there was a period? The blackouts, right? Yeah, security camera footage. Mr. Saint is far from the only one who had the opportunity. Which opportunity are we talking about again? We'd previously established that the time code in the security footage was off by 3 hours. And from this, we can deduce that there must have been a power outage lasting for that length of time, during which anyone could have moved around the prison undetected. You mean to say that our killer intentionally created this 3-hour gap? That it was no simple camera malfunction? Is that even possible? It was completely possible to create the 3-hour gap using this. The breakers, right? Our investigation of the yard turned up something rather interesting. A panel of breakers, one which can be used to cut the power to the security cameras. We also learned that the door to the power room may have been opened at around the time of the murder. What? Such a shame to see one so capable fall so short of the mark. Mr. Edgeworth knows what he's doing. Then how does he explain the lock on the power room door? Oh yeah, it was kind of locked up tight. And the warden's the only one with the key. Those breakers are vital to the prison's infrastructure. So I very much doubt that anyone could have gained access to the power room's key so easily. No, but one person could have. I beg your pardon? That person, the killer, had easy access to it, in fact. And what's more, their position here is such that nobody would dare question them. What? There's no one like that! The breaker to the electric fence is in there! They would be questioned in an instant! There's only one person who met these criteria. I can hardly believe it myself, but I have to follow where the logic leads. The person who had access to the power room key was... Fifi Lagarde. The real culprit is... Oh, there she is. Warden Lagarde. Oh, just look at you. Aren't you the cutest little poochie-poo? He's not just a pretty face. Missile also has quite the nose for sweet things. It seems he's smelling something very sweet indeed. And it's coming from you. Oh, darling, you're making me blush. I'm not even wearing perfume. And perhaps it is the sweet stench of death. You're a regular poet, aren't you? I had no idea. But if I didn't know better, I'd almost think you were calling moi the killer. That is precisely what I'm calling you.
What?
Warden Lagarde is the killer. Mr. Edgeworth, do you realize what you're saying? Oh, such a naughty boy. How could he suspect me, I'm the one in charge around here. It's like we're in a murder mystery, aren't we? And equally far-fetched. This is preposterous. This is just what Edgeworth deals with every day, come on. Sadly, it is not, although I can hardly believe it myself. But this is where the evidence points, and we must trust in the evidence. This piece of evidence proves that Warden Lagarde is the killer. Is it the breakers? Because, like, the fact that she was the only one who could access it. Let's see. This proves that you're the... Oh, it's wrong. Darling, please, that's your damning evidence? It has nothing to do with me whatsoever, and you know it. It looks like that wasn't it. Missile smelled something on Warden Lagarde just now. Oh! Whatever it could be, the key to this case. You're a hoot, Mr. Edgeworth. Really, you are. But can we dispense with the jokes now, This is no joke, Warden. You're the killer. Oh, really? Well, could you at least try and present some plausible evidence? It's the sweet smell, right? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, seriously, Edgeworth, nobody in a position of power would ever misuse it for wrongdoing. No, and they never have before in this series. Your son betrays you, Warden. And here is your accuser. The police talk. We had him track down a sweet scent that was lingering around Knight's body back when it was first found. He now appears to be smelling the same scent that's coming from you. Oh, darling, you're priceless, really you are. Your evidence is a whiff of suspicion. Verity, dear, do put him in his place. It seems Judge Gavelle may have reached a similar conclusion to myself. You believe this to be no mere coincidence, Mr. Edgeworth? I do. After all, she had the key, and the scent found lingering on the body is hers as well. Were it just one or the other, we might be able to brush it off as a coincidence. However... Indeed. And it seems a conclusion approaches. Perhaps we should hear what the warden has to say for herself. We should, and when we have, this case will finally be at an end. Alright. You're all being simply awful. Stop looking at me like that. Me, the killer? How could I possibly do such a thing? I didn't do it. Alright. Verity told me everything she knows about the case, sweetie. The victim died in his cell, so by your logic, I would have had to have killed him there. But how am I supposed to have moved the body? Especially as I never went into the prison. I was too busy with work, you see. I was cooped up in my office until right before the show began. Check if you like. You won't find a record anywhere of my having entered or left the prison proper. I haven't the first idea what harebrained theories you little scamps have cooked up, but I'm innocent. There's simply no way I could be the killer.
Give me a break! Missile doesn't lie! Don't make it hard on everyone and just come clean!
Dear, I'm afraid you are the one making things difficult. As I just said, I never went into that prison. If you think I'm lying, go and check the records. She clearly wants to check those records, which means they won't help us. We'll just have to find another way of getting the truth out of her. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, stop being a big silly. You've made a boo-boo and you know it. The warden hires Phoenix to defend her and... Oh, yeah. Let's see about that. The case, okay. Judge Gavelle told you everything. Are you close? Thick as thieves, darling. Why do you ask? Are you jealous? Jealous of what? I had to ask Warden Lagarde for a lot of information on the first day of our investigation. It seemed only right that I share some information in return. Oh, Verity, did you ever make it sound so awfully dry? I thought we had a lovely chat. I simply shared the truth in our conversation. It was the least I could do. I'm not sure what's going on, but these two, They're terrifyingly formidable together. The victim died in his cell. Alright. The murder took place in his cell. You seem very happy to accept that. And why shouldn't I be? It seems the most likely place for it to have happened without drawing attention. And besides, they found Knight's blood in his cell. Yes, but that was from being struck by Mr. Carcerado. Though I needn't tell her that, I suppose. I take it there's also been no testimony to the contrary. What does it matter? Knight being killed in his cell doesn't go against any of the facts, anyway. But how am I supposed to have moved the body, okay? Do you have any evidence that you didn't enter the prison? Please, darling, let me finish. Let's see. I was too busy with work. Okay. So you were in your office the whole time, and you didn't notice anything unusual? No, I can't say that I did. And you didn't notice anything missing? I must confess I'm a rather messy girl. And a forgetful one at that. I put something down and it's lost forever. It's a curse, darling, a curse. I even lost some important evidence recently. It was gone. Poof! Just like that. What? And she still has a job? Honestly, if somebody came into my office and took something, it might be years before I noticed. It seems like I'll need more than the power room key to expose her. On the day of the murder, I was working in my office. Oh, and looking for something I'd misplaced. Even if I'd had a reason to go into the prison, I simply wouldn't have had the time. Check if you like. You won't find a record anywhere. Okay. Sure, maybe you didn't go through the main entrance to the prison. But what if you took another route? Oh, come now, sweetie. Surely you don't mean that awful, filthy tunnel they discovered. Why, until yesterday, I had no idea it even existed. No, you had another way in. I'm certain of it. A route that didn't require going through the main entrance or the tunnel. The route you took through this location. Your office? This is the route you took to get into the prison. Is it, darling? And how would that have worked? Didn't you say yourself that I didn't use the entrance or the tunnel? No, I guess that wasn't it. A route from her office that bypasses the prison entrance and the tunnel. Wait. Oh, hang on. The only time Knight's body could have been placed in the well was the night before the show.
What's our move, sir? She seems awfully sure of herself.
She seems pretty confident there won't be any record of her entering the prison. In which case, we'll have to rely on something other than the records in question. We should listen carefully to her statements again and ask a few pertinent questions. Alright, did it want me to present the yard instead of the office? Let's see. I think so. Alright. Let's see. The route you went through this is the... Because, okay, she didn't go through the tunnel from here to here, and she didn't go through here. So the only other way she could have gone was through here. So the yard, I think, is what we're talking about. Yes. Through the fence. Warden, you took Knight from his cell and brought him to your office, which just happens to be connected to the yard. If you had a way through the fence, then you would have been able to circumvent both the entrance and the tunnel. Hee Gold star for creativity, darling. And how would I have gotten through the fence, The extremely high fence, topped with razor wire, with thousands of volts of electricity going through it. Yeah! How's she supposed to have gotten through that, The fence's electricity supply couldn't be cut off from the power room. And only you had the key, Warden. No one but you could have done it. Utterly ridiculous. The power room is on the prison side of the yard. Warden Lagarde was on the detention center side. How would she even have reached the power room? Exactly, Faraday, darling. Well, clever puss. You've dug yourself a real hole now. If there is no record of Warden Lagarde having entered the prison proper, then the idea that she could have shut off the fence by using the breaker is out of the question. But there must be some way she could have done it. Take a deep breath, big guy. Lose your cool, and you'll lose everything. But I don't find a solution. She might still wriggle out of this. Hey, I said take a deep breath, not freak out and completely lose your cool.
There's nothing to be gained by banging your head against the same wall, yeah?
No matter how you look at it, Warden Lagarde couldn't have done it alone. Hmm? Mr. Edgeworth, you cannot... You aren't doing yourself any favors by obstructing justice with your silence. That was a reflexive objection. But now that I've yelled it, if I don't come up with a new answer, it's all over. Did he do the... I was hoping to come up with something to object to, but I didn't. I have one more thing to add, if you'll permit me. Something that explains how the warden could have shut off the breaker from the wrong side of the fence. Yes, because it's not as impossible as it seems. What enabled her to shut off the breaker? His reflexive objections, yes. It's a good throwback. An accomplice? Because I think she has somebody helping her here. She couldn't have done it alone. But what if she wasn't alone? Oh, now we're talking. Way to flex the old gray matter, kiddo. I believe that Warden Lagarde had an accomplice. Enough. You disappoint me, Mr. Edgeworth.
What do you mean? Mr. Edgeworth has said nothing wrong.
The inmates of this prison are all issued with security bracelets. Oh, but one was broken. The ones that raise the alarm if people go where they're not supposed to... Ah! I see that you have realized your error, and we are, of course, within the prison grounds. We're not only on the bracelets worn, but even the guards surveil each other for signs of wrongdoing. And despite all that, no one noticed Mr. Carcerado's escape. The only ones who are free to roam are the animals, and they most certainly couldn't have operated the breaker. No, so our accomplice must be human. It's Frank Sawit. I wonder if he just shouts objection every time he's upset about something, like he can't find what he needs at the store. That's right. I can't find... What? You're out of Steel Samurai figurines? Objection! Edgeworth did nothing wrong, Gumshoe.
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth is innocent. He's done everything correct.
Then who did it, given that it cannot have been a prisoner or a guard? I wouldn't be so quick to rule out either, Your Honor. The fact is, there is one person, someone whose movements weren't restricted. And I have just the evidence to show who that free-roaming person was. It was Frank Sawit's broken bracelet. This is one of the prisoner's bracelets. Indeed, a broken bracelet belonging to a certain self-proclaimed model prisoner. What do you mean? And who is this prisoner? Frank Sawit, Warden Lagarde's favorite inmate. Whew. It's strange, isn't it, Warden, that he was able to keep his broken bracelet hidden and wander freely around the prison all the while? That is pretty funky. And I don't mean in a good way. It couldn't be the case that he was permitted some sort of special leeway, could it? Although you are in the habit of giving such leeway to certain others. Body Karma Canis, for example. Mr. Edgeworth, that is pure speculation. Also, I love that his name is literally Body Harma. That is really funny. I got it like a while ago, but Body Harma, that's amazing. In that case, why don't we ask Mr. Sawit himself? I'm confident he will confirm for us that he and Warden Lagarde were accomplices in this crime. If the two of them had worked together, a certain route into the prison becomes viable. The real route by which Mr. Knight was moved from his cell to the prison proper. Recall that there were two big obstacles in her path. First, the security camera outside Knight's cell. Second, the electrified fence in the yard. But she was able to remove both obstacles in one fell swoop by having Mr. Sawit shut off the corresponding breakers. All right, Mr. Edgeworth, you've had your fun. And you still deny it, Warden Lagarde? No, darling, you've got me. I admit it. Warden, tell me this isn't true. Sorry, Verity, honey, I'm afraid it is. Frankie helped me do it.
No way!
You did it, Mr. Edgeworth. You got her.
Nice shooting, cowboy!
She won't be wriggling out of this now. As Mr. Edgeworth said, I had Frankie switch off the breaker. But we didn't kill Knight, did we? No, Sweetums, no. We didn't.
What?
Warden, explain yourself. Oh, Verity, dear. I doubt your precious goddess will want to hear my excuses now. She is all merciful. You have but to confess and you shall be saved. Oh gosh, all right. I was being threatened. I had no choice but to do as he said. Who's he? Makanis, that awful assassin. Canis. How long has it been since that awful man came here to my beautiful prison? I'll never forget the day he arrived. The moment we were alone, he said this to me.
You should know that I have other dogs. Dogs not confined to this fine institution.
Others?
Yes, very loyal dogs. Dogs who will do anything I ask of them.
Of course, he wasn't talking about real dogs. He was talking about his very human cronies. And then he said one last thing.
I would recommend that you take care and how you treat me during my stay here. I wouldn't want to have to set my dogs on you or your precious family.
I had no choice. I gave him that cell. I gave him everything he asked for. Everything? Wait. Is that how he became the fixer? Yes, darling. I obeyed his every command and smuggled in for him all that he wanted. Eventually, I brought dear sweet Frankie into our little conspiracy. He agreed right away, of course, because I made things easier for him, too. So you were smuggling in contraband? How exactly? Once a week, late at night, Frankie would shut off the breakers. That allowed me to go from my office into the yard without being seen by the cameras. Then I simply dropped the packages down the well on the prison side and went back through the fence. Each one of them spritzed with a little of my perfume. So that's what the sweet smell was. Yes, it was a signal for Canis's dog. When he picked up the scent, he would fetch the packages and bring them back to his master. We had to make sure Rocco wasn't in his cell at the time, of course.
Can't have been easy keeping him from finding out.
We're all very much creatures of habit here at the prison, darling. Everything runs to a schedule. Meals, exercise hours, that sort of thing. We knew when he wasn't there. And that adorable little bear of his freezes with fright at the sight of Canis's dog, poor thing. So there was no risk of him raising the alarm either. She has oversight over everything here at the prison, which made her the perfect mule. With her on his side, Canis couldn't fail. Frankie would sneak out again in the early morning to switch the breakers back on, and our work was done. Apart from fixing the time codes and the cameras, which I would do later when I got the chance. You have shared a great deal, Warden. The Goddess of Justice will surely take your honesty into account. I've been the most dreadful fool, I know I have. I'm supposed to be the one in charge. The day of Knight's murder was also one of our delivery days, and so Frankie, bless his heart, did his usual work with the breakers. But there was no package for me to deliver that day, so I didn't go out into the yard. So that's the secret behind the fixer's system, and why she was... The police have been trying to track down his accomplices for the longest time. Even I've had to lend them a hand myself, you know. Heaven knows how many times I've hauled the secretive scoundrel in my office to talk to me. But no matter what I say or how much evidence I present him with, he simply won't say a word. That's why you were interrogating Mr. Canis over and over. Exactly. I was trying to track down those horrible hench people of his. I borrowed everything the police had on that rotten scoundrel. I watched his every move, intercepted every letter he wrote. His letters. Then I suppose she must know about his correspondence chess games, too. But no matter what I did, I couldn't turn up any clues as to who his underlings were. Living in fear like this, it's... Oh, you just can't comprehend it. As you have just heard for yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The words of Warden Lagarde's confessions have cleansed her of all suspicion. Surely there's no need to hound her any longer. Has she really been cleared of all suspicion, though? Is there more about her to uncover? There is definitely more. Innocent, my cravat. I'm sorry, Your Honor. But this conversation isn't over yet. And I think the Goddess of Justice would agree. So you mean to make her suffer even more than she already has? Unfortunately, her suffering under Mr. Connus does nothing to prove her innocence in Knight's murder. She admitted herself that she knew of and even facilitated the so-called Fixer's delivery route. I believe she used that same route to move Knight's body. And where is your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth? It's in the fact that the sweet smell on Knight's body is the exact same scent Warden Lagarde uses to signal a delivery. What do you make of that? Well, that's because we've done it so many times by now that the whole well probably smells of it. So it must have just rubbed off on his body. That does match the statement that Mr. Carcerado provided.
The smell, yeah, always smelled kind of nice down there.
Nice.
Gee, I don't know, sort of like dessert, I guess.
His words would seem to suggest that the smell had permeated the well. You've been rendered speechless, I see. Then I hereby move to adjourn this session of the court. No, what do we do, Mr. Edgeworth? What can I do? Is this as far as we go? Finally! So we're actually done? Yes, Eustace, it seems we are. By the power vested in me, this court is adjourned. Hold it. Who's holding? Who was that? No. Come on, Judge G. Things were just getting good. Fender, are you objecting to my adjourning this session? No. Would have shouted objection if I wanted to do that. You do you, G. Adjourn, don't adjourn, whatever. Float your boat. What are you doing, Mr. Fender? Don't worry about what I'm doing. Let's all just take a chill pill, shall we? By which I mean a square of chocolatey goodness. Anyone? Are you trying to get yourself charged with contempt of court? No, my bad. I just had a quick request to make is all. As Simeon Saint's lawyer, that is. Ah yes, I'd forgotten that you were his real attorney, Mr. Fender. How could you? You're killing me here. Can you blame us? You've been making Mr. Edgeworth do everything this whole time. It's true. Right you are. Which is why I figured it's time to put in some work. Work, you say? Somehow, I don't believe you've worked a day in your life. And let's say this is me doing some prep work for the upcoming trial. Mind if I question the witness? Now, amusing, but what is there left to ask? I got a feeling in my funny bone that Fief's here has something more to tell us about the killer. Do I? Yes, indeed. See, as a major player on Team Simeon, I can spot a sympathizer when I see one. And you don't think he did it, do you? So tell us, who did? Come on, spill the beans, we're all ears. Mr. Edgeworth, what's he doing? He's trying to coax Warden Lagarde into giving something away. Ask yourself, why would she go to all the trouble of sending Knight's body on such an odd journey? It's because she wanted to frame Mr. Connus. She did? No way. If he was convicted of committing murder here, that could have been grounds for a transfer to another prison. Most likely a more secure facility. And where he'd be out of her hair forever, huh? Precisely. She saw her opportunity and seized it. No. Saint can't not be the killer. That's not fair. I was all ready to prosecute him. I know, right? But maybe we should find out what she thinks first. Don't want to get the wrong guy, yeah? Hey, nice. Now Mr. Winter has to go along with it, too. Well, Warden, are you happy to testify further?
Of course! How could I refuse this silver-tongued devil? Eddykins, you have such a way with words.
He's just doing my job, thief. Besides, one can't tell the truth without telling the whole truth, can one? I'm simply dying to tell all verity, darling. Do say you let me. As you wish. Court is unadjourned. I can't believe you pulled that off, Mr. Fender. Me either. Thank you for the timely intervention. Hey, it's the least I could do. He's not wrong. I've been leaning on you hard. And besides, the defense never rests, am I right? Simeon's depending on us. Sadly, I think I just about exhausted my reserves of cool lawyer chat there. And we can't foul this up now. Which means you're up to bat, Miles McSmiles. Show him that never rest spirit. I shall. Fabulous! Then let's get started. It is quite literally the least he could do, yes. My job here is done, but you didn't do anything. My truth. I really don't think anyone could have done it but that dreadful man Connors. There's no telling what went on between him and the victim. Perhaps he simply took a disliking to him. He's certainly the type. But whatever his sort of details, it was him. He stabbed that poor man to death. And then he had his dog dispose of the body. That simply has to be what happened. Well, interesting. The victim, Mr. Knight, yes? I did him the most terrible disservice. Yes, you killed him. Oh, ouch! I suppose you could put it that way. If it weren't such a sorry excuse for a warden, this would never have happened. And that's why I have to clean up this terrible mess. Warden Lagarde, as ever, your honesty is truly to your credit. I'm certain Mr. Knight is looking down and weeping tears of gratitude. You've clearly never met Mr. Knight. Yeah, he was kind of a jerk. My truth. Alright. We don't think anyone could have done it but that dreadful man Connors. You seem very confident in your assertion. Why is that? Because all the other children in my little home are absolute sweethearts. They have faith in themselves and in one another. They have faith in the guards, in me. And they work hard every day to better themselves. None of them would dare commit murder. Of course, one of them would plot to escape, but whatever. That's a very touching reason indeed, and I don't believe a word of it. But Connors, though, he's rotten to the core. He's the only one who would do something like that. There's no telling what's going on between him and the victim. Knight was being kept in a holding cell while Mr. Connors was in the prison proper. What could possibly have happened between them when they were at opposite ends of the facility? Prisons aren't as big as they seem, you know. All kinds of awful things can happen. But Knight only arrived 2 days before he was murdered. I can't imagine anything significant happening in that short space of time. Then you don't know Connors, my dear. He'd find a way. I'm sure of it. He simply took a disliking to him. How could he take a disliking to somebody all the way over in the holding cells? Well, I'm just plucking possibilities out of the air, darling. As I said, there's no telling what really went on between them. You're so awfully serious, aren't you? Not that I mind, of course. Why is she looking at me like that? So noble. So dashing in that marvelous suit. So clever. I can feel myself becoming your biggest fan, darling. I really can. No! Stay with me, Mr. Edgeworth. No, I wasn't prepared for that mental onslaught. He doesn't need another old bag. Okay. What more can you tell us about these sordid details? Well, we all know what Connors once did for a living. I doubt the killing part gave him much trouble. Especially as the victim was already injured. His neck, I think. Couldn't turn his head to the right, poor dear. That's what they told me when they brought him in anyway. They must make some sort of report for the warden when new prisoners are admitted. You seem keen for us to think you didn't know much about Knight. That's because I didn't, sweetie. And the victim was simply a fun target to that monster. Nothing more. I expect Connors used the chisel that was hidden in that chess set, don't you? Awful, grisly business. If being a prosecutor doesn't work out, seems like he could find an older woman to take care of him. I think he could, very easily, yes. Just imagine, the man probably didn't even have time to cry out. Edgeworth has a future as a host. he could be a host at a host club. I see. Thank you for your thoughts. They were very helpful. Actually, I'd like to hear about them in a little more detail, if you don't mind. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, you're making me blush. I could chat with you all day. Oh, don't look so nervous, darling. I'm only teasing. Of course, we can talk about them some more. I expect Canis used the chisel that was hidden in that chess set, don't you? Wait a second. That was not his chisel. Hidden by Canis inside his dog's mouth. Is it the chisel or the chess set that I present here? Let's see. I think it's the chess set. Because that's like, it was his, not Canis's. Why would she say it was... Wooden Lagarde, you strike me as being more careful than the image your project suggests. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, please call me Fifi, or Sweetie Pie if you prefer. However, I think you may have been a little less careful than you realized in this instance. Gee, aren't you just the most adorable little creature? Don't be embarrassed. We're all family here. No. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't let her get inside your head. You said earlier that you didn't know much about Knight. In which case, I find it rather strange that you know about the chisel. Well, of course I do, darling. Do you think we don't check prisoners when they come in? You're not talking your way out of this, Warden. That is entirely irrelevant, and you know it. Knight didn't bring the chess set into the prison himself. It was brought by Mr. Saint when he came to visit. Knight wouldn't have had it with him when he arrived. What? I mean, of course, when Mr. Saint came in, You checked him? I find that hard to believe. Because if you did, that makes your story all the stranger. If you found the chisel, why did you not confiscate it? There and then. Judge Gavelle, did you tell anyone about the hidden compartment of the chess set? I did not. If no one leaked our findings, then how exactly did you learn about the chisel, Warden Lagarde? Because it certainly couldn't have been when you checked Knight or Mr. Saint on their arrival. Indeed. Such a thing would imply an intentional oversight if it had been found, yet let through. Precisely. So, Warden Lagarde, and answer truthfully this time. Where and when did you learn about the chess set? If you won't answer, then allow me. I submit that you... All right, darling, there's no need to rub it in. You got me all right. I questioned Knight. That was when I learned about the chess set. But please, you have to believe me. I did not kill him. One moment, Warden. This is a significant development. The court requests that you make a detailed statement on the record. Any objections, Mr. Edgeworth? None, Your Honor. Thank you, darlings. I'll clear up this awful misunderstanding, I promise. Very well. Go ahead, Warden Lagarde, and please tell the truth this time. Her lies are starting to wear thin. This is my chance to expose her. My truth part 2. I said I questioned Knight, but it wasn't anything serious, you understand. I'll make a point of talking to every newcomer to our little home. Knight was no different. We just had a little chat, you might call it. And after we talked, I had him taken back to his cell straight away. Okay, a little chat, huh? Interesting. The more she lies, the more thoroughly she seals her fate. So it was simply a conversation with a new detainee. That seems entirely above board. Above the chessboard, you might say. Haha. Exactly, Verity, darling. I knew you would understand. Well, I don't. What proof do you have to back up your statement? I suppose we shall see, won't we? Mr. Edgeworth, you may begin your cross-examination. My truth, part 2. Okay. Question Knight, but it wasn't anything serious. Okay. So am I right in assuming that you talked to Knight the night before the show? Exactly, darling. It would have been, around 3 a.m. on the 27th. 3 a.m., that falls squarely within the window of time laid out in the autopsy report. That seems rather late for a friendly chat. Wouldn't he have been asleep? Normally, yes, but if you remember, a guard was attacked in his cell. We had to examine the scene of the crime, gather information. These things take time, sweetie. I assure you, he was wide awake. We all were. Regardless, I find it somewhat odd that you would choose to question him at such a late hour. Oh, you're such a tease, aren't you? Yeah. Anyway, no matter how odd you think it is, I had him brought to me, and that's what happened. Must you really insist on questioning every last thing I say? Sorry, thieves. He's like a dog with a bone sometimes. I'll be sure to scold him once we're done. Though, would you mind giving us a little more info? Like, where you had him brought to? My office, of course. Where else? Our office, which is where we believe the body was moved from. Would you mind appending what you just said to your testimony? Anything for you, darling. Alright. It was around 3 a.m. the night before the show. I had them bring him to my office, okay? Remind me where your office is? You've seen the sign in the detention center corridor, I imagine. The one that says no entry? That's it, sweetie. My office is just up there. A short walk from the holding cells. I understand that you also have access to the yard. Why, of course. That's where my gorgeous little garden is. Oh, I see where you're going with this. You're saying that's how I moved the body. You had the means and the opportunity. It's hardly impossible. Hardly impossible proves nothing. You have no evidence for this assertion. There is no other way that the body could have been moved. Surely you haven't forgotten that it was Mr. Saint who dropped Mr. Knight's body down the well. Yeah, what she said. You're miles off, Edgeworth. Ugh. I probably shouldn't push this any further for now. Oh, Eustace, you're such a goof. Alright. What did you and Knight speak about? Oh, nothing much. Just some small talk, really. I asked him about what animals he liked, what his hobbies were. His hobbies? Then I imagine you talked about chess. Oh, yes. I couldn't stop him talking about it, in fact. He even had a piece of paper covered with little notes about it in his cell. Ah! At least I think that's what they were about. So she's seen Knight's correspondence chess diagram. Let's see, Knight was no different. We just had a little chat, you might call it. Okay. Hang on. How was he when you spoke with him? Oh, he was so open and honest, darling. What? That guy? Honest? He was talking about one croissant and promoting a prawn. I suppose he must have been hungry. And croissant and promoting a pawn. It seems he spared no one from his obsession with chess. I had him taken back to his cell straight away. Okay? If he really had gone back to his cell, he would still be alive today. You really think I murdered the poor man right there in my office, don't you? But what would my motive have been, darling? I told you, I barely knew him. I'm no angel. I have my grudges against Canis, but Knight had nothing to do with that animal. She really does hate Canis. Warden Lagarde, I must insist that you append that statement to your testimony. Yeah, we got her right there. Had nothing to do with that animal. He did, though. The correspondence chest, we gotcha. Yeah. Judge Gavelle, I'd like you to take a look at this. Notes about a game of chess. What is the significance of this, Mr. Edgeworth? It was found in Knight's cell, which is exactly where you said you saw it too, Warden Lagarde. But you didn't just see this game in Knight's cell, did you? You've seen it in Mr. Canis' cell too. What do you mean? Oh, come now, don't tell me you haven't taken a look at the chessboard in maximum security. I imagine you watch his every move like a hawk. Or rather, I imagine you feel that doing so is your only option. If she wants to find out who his cronies are, right? Personally interrogating your own prisoners is highly irregular, to say the least. But as you said, Mr. Canis had threatened you. He put your precious home at risk. That's why you took it upon yourself to question him. You wanted to find out who his dogs were. And so what if I did? You also told us you read his letters, which means you must have known about one key fact. You knew he was playing correspondence chess. And then who should appear at night, carrying with him a diagram of a very particular game. We ourselves used that diagram to infer a connection between the two men, and it seems you came to the same conclusion. But in your fear, you took your reasoning one step further. You surmised that Knight was Mr. Canis' henchman, sent to kill you. Which is the real reason she had that chat with the Bronxter. If his boss wouldn't crack, maybe he would. And when you questioned Knight, you made another discovery. For there, inside his chess set, you found a hidden chisel.
The murder weapon itself.
As far as you were concerned, that chisel meant one thing: Connus. Thus, you convinced yourself that Knight was working for Connus, and that is why you killed him. I see you have no more excuses. Judge Gavelle, your verdict, please.
Much as it grieves me, there would appear to be little room for doubt.
I hereby give my verdict. Bronco Knight was murdered by... In the name of the goddess of justice, who is it this time? Warden. It's a joke, it's all a big stupid joke. You people just don't get it, do you? I think we've proven that it's you who didn't understand things correctly. Me? Please, darling, I understand it all perfectly well, thank you very much. And I understand that there's a glaring contradiction in your theory, Mr. Edgeworth. You're just grasping at straws now. I have no time for this, Your Honor. The verdict. I am curious to hear what the warden has to say. What? You're a doll, Verity. I just have one last thing to say. Then Mr. Edgeworth can declare himself the winner. You rang? Does anyone remember a certain autopsy report? Oh, he heard the word winner. That's amazing.
Of course, we received the finalized version only this morning.
That's right, and I was listening to what you told us about it, Verity, even if nobody else was. You said the wound was 4 inches deep.
4 inches?
Wait. Riddle me this, Mr. Edgeworth. How does a tiny chisel make a 4-inch wound? No.
Forgive me, oh goddess. I came perilously close to making a terrible mistake.
Looks like your theory is the one that doesn't hold water, Edgeworth. What now?
What do we do?
Oh, it'll be fine. Mr. Edgeworth always comes through. Right, sir?
Looks to me like the Milesatron's out of commission.
You're an attorney too, aren't you? Why don't you do something? Turn things on their heads with a desperate bluff. Burn out the first mind-blowing thing that comes to you.
Look, Detective, I'm as much of a man of action as the next guy. But without evidence, we're up a creek without a paddle here. This might be the end of the road. I like Gumshoe just has seen Phoenix enough that he just knows what defense attorneys do.
We can't give up now. We have to do something.
I'm certain that Warden Lagarde is the killer. It's the only explanation that fits the facts of the case. But if the chisel wasn't the murder weapon, what other bladed weapon is there here in the facility?
It seems we still do not have all the answers, nor the evidence to provide those answers. Alas, we must wait until the trial to see this matter resolved, I'm afraid.
Aw, come on, G! You're just giving the killer a chance to destroy the evidence.
Are you calling the judicial process into question, Mr. Fender?
Nope, not me. Nuh-uh. I tried, Miles. Any bright ideas?
What is the real murder weapon, since it's clearly not the chisel?
Confound it. This question throws everything we've deduced out the window.
Nothing to add, Mr. Edgeworth. Allow me to remind you that claims not supported by sufficient evidence are subject to the harshest penalties.
It's hopeless. I can't think of anything. I need more time. Loath as I am to admit it,
You can't give up now. Remember what Mr. Fender said. Simeon's counting on us. Without us, he's... Remember how upset he was? He was devastated. Nobody's in more pain than him over Mr. Knight's death. There's no way he did it. But if we can't save him, who will? And what's more, he believes in us. He's sitting in that cell waiting for us to bring him some good news. And I, for one, won't walk away until we have some.
Okay. Gee, Miles, your little buddy's there is quite the motivational speaker. And she's right, too. When you find yourself on the ropes, think of your client. Picture them pleading with you to help them. Doesn't that make you want to fight back as hard as you can until the very end? Think of your old man. Good old Gregory. No matter how bad things looked, he'd always find a way to turn it around and save his client. And you're just like him, right? If there's any way to force a turnabout here, you're the one who'll find it. Simeon's counting on you.
Judge Gavelle, you seem to have recovered your composure, Mr. Edgeworth. But if you mean to attempt a defense, I would advise you to consider the ramifications. You have repeatedly proposed misguided theories and have made numerous false accusations. If you do so again, I will have no choice but to judge you unfit to serve as a prosecutor and relieve you of your badge for good. She's right. I have put forward a number of theories that proved to be flawed in one way or another. Have I made some sort of fundamental oversight? Wait, she said my theories were misguided. Nothing to say. Then the court will tolerate no more of your time wasting. I hereby...
Sir! Mr. Edgeworth!
give my verdict.
That's it. I've been thinking about it the wrong way all this time.
My theories were misguided. I was being misled. The defendant, Simeon...
I think it's a little soon for that, Your Honor. I'd say it's well past due, darling. Wouldn't you agree, Verity?
Mr. Edgeworth, you may proceed.
What?
I'd like to remind you of a few things. The sighting of his dog Helmet, the fact that he wasn't at the show. These and other factors made Mr. Connors the obvious suspect at first.
This again, Mr. Edgeworth. You seem almost proud of your blunder.
What if the real killer wanted us to suspect Mr. Connors? What if it was all carefully arranged? And what if the same was true of the chisel, our purported murder weapon? Knight had been stabbed multiple times in the same place with a bladed instrument. What if he was stabbed with the chisel after the real murder weapon had been removed? Just to leave traces of blood on it for us to find. That was how the killer misled us into thinking the chisel is the murder weapon. But why mislead us in this way? Why indeed? Why make us think the chisel is the murder weapon rather than whatever was really used? In order to get Connors transferred, right? That's it. Warden, you took advantage of what the chisel seemed to suggest. What it suggests? What are you talking about, darling? Mr. Winner, if I were to tell you the murder weapon was a chisel, what would you think? Huh? That Mr. Connors is the killer. And there you have it. That was the trap the warden set for us. Right. Because her main goal is to get him out of the prison. So the bell being on the chisel, it was all just a frame. Oh, Mr. Connors has a bunch of chisels. So she wanted us to think it was one of his, right? Indeed. That was her plan right from the start. To frame Bodhidharma Connors. Your reasoning would appear to be sound. Warden Lagarde certainly seems to harbor a deep and abiding hatred for Mr. Connors. However, I think you know what I'm going to say next. That alone is not sufficient proof that Warden Lagarde is the killer. I knew that wouldn't be enough. There's only one thing that will prove it. The real murder weapon that we now know must exist. If you cannot prove your theory, then this conversation ends here. If we could just find the real murder weapon... How many times do we have to go over this? We searched the prison from top to bottom. Eustace is quite correct. No other possible murder weapon has been found, so I'm afraid you're at a bit of an impasse. I can still prove my case yet, Your Honor, because it's still here inside this prison. This would have made sure of that. The security gate? I'm glad you at least remember what it is. And do remember what it does. Of course I do! I'm not an idiot! The security gate detects metal, which means you can't bring anything metal into the prison or take it out. Oh! Precisely. If there is another murder weapon, it cannot have been taken off the premises. But nor could it have been brought into the prison in the first place. And so we find ourselves right back where we began. Judge Gavelle, what I am trying to tell you, Mr. Edgeworth, is that if you wish me to believe that there is another murder weapon here in the prison, you will also have to explain to me how it got here. Alright, we know that the chisel was smuggled into the prison inside a pocket chess set. But our contention is that the chisel is not the real murder weapon. So if the weapon came from outside the facility, then there must have been a way to bring it in. Yes, the question of the hour is this. Can you show me this alternate route? And how did the weapon Warden Lagarde used get into the prison? You borrowed evidence from the police to help with your investigation, is that correct? Oh yes, sweetie, everything related to Connors is with me now. Heaven knows how many times I've hauled the secretive scoundrel in my office to talk with me. Of course, that's how. The fact that this is here with us shows how a bladed object could have been brought into the facility as well. The chisel, right? The fact that this is here with us shows how a bladed... I'm not an idiot. Citation needed. Yeah. Good old, Eustace. Is it? Let's see. The fact that this is here with us shows us how a bladed object could have been brought into the facility. Oh, it was just... wasn't subject to a search. Right? Nice thinking. That's a great way to get something made of metal into the prison. Indeed, even a metal item would have been... Before you congratulate yourselves any further, would you care to explain your thinking? Wait, you mean you can't use that at all? Mr. Edgeworth, I believed in you. Let's see. Okay. See, so there's in a way something made of metal. Okay, there is, and it involves things coming into the prison that weren't brought by a visitor. We have a piece of evidence that shows how metal objects could be brought in without raising the alarm. Alright, cut to the chase. Oh! So let's see here. The fact that they're... Oh, is it... Was I one off? Because, okay, I was thinking about the chisel, but is it the bell? Because the chisel is just... the chisel, but it has the bell attached to it, and she would have had the other bell. So it's the bell. Allow me to remind you of our conversation with Mr. Connors yesterday.
Yes, it was but one of my bells. One of only two in existence.
Just two?
Two and only two. One for my knife and one for my beloved helmet. Exquisitely crafted. Utterly unique. My ears are my guides, after all. And I must be able to use my tools precisely. Of course, as you said, the knife has long since been taken from me.
So you see, there is a way for objects to be brought into the prison unscrutinized. As part of the evidence Warden Lagarde borrowed from the police. What? Mr. Connors' knife was part of the evidence in the case against him. And that evidence was here in the prison. So she used his own knife to kill him. Not only that, but the knife had a certain bell attached to it. The bell that was attached to the chisel. Correct. The killer took the bell from the knife and attached it to the chisel. But that can't be right. The chisel only had Mr. Knight's fingerprints on it. Easy enough to explain that the killer wore gloves. She made it look as if the chisel was the murder weapon, and then attached the bell to it. In doing so, she made sure that all the evidence pointed to Mr. Connors. And who had access to the evidence from which the bells were taken? Why, only the person to whom it had been entrusted.
Who was it, sir? Who's been messing with the evidence?
I believe that would be you. Isn't that correct, Warden Lagarde?
The bells aren't exactly rare, you know. Anybody could have set that up.
Yeah, unluckily for you, that isn't quite true. These particular bells are unique, because there are only two of them in existence.
What?
By attaching that bell to the chisel, you as good as declared yourself the killer.
But you don't have any proof that the knife was ever even here to begin with.
I don't. Not yet, anyway. Mr. Winner, I'd like you to order another search of the prison right away.
Huh? But if you do find something, that's gonna make things awkward for me.
This isn't about what's convenient for you. We have to find the truth. You're a prosecutor, aren't you? Well, yeah, but you know. This worthless excuse for a prosecutor. If I had investigative authority, I wouldn't be sitting on it. Anyhow, it's not my decision to make. The warden would have to authorize it. You know full well that she will do no such thing. You have the power to insist on a search. Use it! Sorry, darling, but not without that evidence. The goddess of justice cannot bestow her blessings on those who lack the proof to support their claims. Our work here is done. The rest of this matter will have to be settled in the courtroom. No. If we give Lagarde the opportunity, she'll destroy whatever evidence is left. I have to object. I have to stop them. But what do I say? I don't have anything concrete to offer. What am I thinking? I'm never this reckless. No, I can't back down now. I've got to put everything on the line. I'm not a prosecutor right now. I'm an associate attorney with a client to defend. Only I can save Mr. Saint, and that means... Even if my chances are 1,000,000 to 1, it's still worth a shot. It's now or never. Should I object? Object. Absolutely. I suppose this must be how a certain serial bluffer always feels. Oh, who could that be? Regardless, I cannot walk away. Wait, Your Honor. This had better be good, Mr. Edgeworth. I've got it. Got what, exactly? The real murder weapon, of course. I know where Mr. Connis's knife is. It's that man, yeah. Do you really, Mr. Edgeworth? I do. Not at all. If I did not know better, I would say that you were bluffing. You wound me, Your Honor. I don't know the meaning of the word. This is terrible for my heart. There's no way you could... It's not here, I tell you. Well, would you be so kind as to enlighten us? Where is the real murder weapon? We've brought it up multiple times. The alligator. It's in the alligator. Because the alligator has been a Chekhov's gun that's been mentioned a couple times and not fired yet. Think, Miles, think! Somewhere not even the police would search. A blind spot in this zoo. A hiding place that the warden could be absolutely sure of. A hiding place? No!
If you insist. Come on, Helmet. Open up.
Did she use the same trick? No, that's ridiculous, isn't it? But the more I think about it, how many foolproof ways to evade detection could there be? Mr. Edgeworth, how long do you intend to keep us waiting? There's the faintest possibility I'm right, but if I'm wrong, we stand to lose everything. Your Honor, this is where the real murder weapon is hidden. The pond right here. Here? In the yard? Indeed. I don't believe I understand. Would you care to explain a little more? Where exactly is the real murder weapon hidden? Yeah, and right there in the crocodile. Or alligator. Of course. That's what it must have been. Huh? What's the matter, detective?
It's the metal detector, sir. It's reacting to the alligator.
What? How? The metal detector was reacting to something inside her after all. Your Honor, I'd like to remind you of this piece of evidence. The chisel? Didn't we just figure out that isn't the murder weapon? You might recall that Mr. Connis hid this chisel in his dog's mouth. Would you believe that the real murder weapon was hidden in such the same way? That's right. The murder weapon is hidden inside the alligator in that pond over there. What? No way! We detected the presence of a metallic object during our earlier investigation. Judge Gavelle, we need to know what's inside that alligator. Understood. Then we will need to summon a veterinarian. I'm sure I could get the little sweetie to open up for us. I'd be happy to give it a try. Please, by all means. Warden Lagarde, the real murder weapon is about to be revealed. Why not do the right thing and confess?
have nothing to confess.
As you wish, then you can simply wait and watch as your lies are exposed.
Sir, we got it.
This has to be it. It's over, Fifi Lagarde. The real murder weapon was Harmacanis' knife, making you the only person who could have killed Bronco Knight.
I'm not the criminal. Here! This is all Canis' doing!
I did the right thing. Knight was a threat. He was Canis' lapdog.
Curse that despicable man, Canis! Why did he have to come and ruin my perfect little home? He would have been happy forever if it wasn't for him. He ruined my paradise on earth. He ruined everything. Curse him! Curse that pitiless butcher! That awful, terrible, despicable man! Curse him!
Oh my. The coat's gone. March 29th, 12:34 p.m. Detention Center. Corridor.
Prosecutor Thwinner, sir.
The test results have just come back. Thwinner. I guess we've all been under a lot of stress.
Traces of Bronco Knight's blood were found on Mr. Canis' knife. And just like you said, sir. Congratulations on a stunning victory.
Thank you, officer. Excellent work. You can continue complimenting me if you like.
Yes, sir. The winner wins again. I think I'm welling up a little.
With rage. Excellent work, Eustace. Just a few loose ends to tie up and we're done. Huh? What are you talking about? I just solved the case, didn't I? We have yet to confirm whether or not Knight really was working for Mr. Canis. It will be vital to know if Warden Lagarde was simply jumping to conclusions on that front. Huh? There's Clueless, and then there's you. Well, then I guess we'd better get back to our investigation. All right, officer, you're with me. You're about to see the winner win a whole lot more. Prepare to witness first-rate investigative talent in action.
Yes, sir. I'm right with you, sir. Can't wait to watch you at work.
It's winning time! I expect this case will cause quite a stir. The attempted murder of a president is news enough, and now his would-be assassin has been murdered. But Knight never sought to kill the president in the first place. The truth is not always as important as it might seem, Mr. Edgeworth. In the eyes of both society and the law. How can you even say that? You do not have to believe me. However, as a prosecutor, Mr. Edgeworth is obliged to accept this is the reality of the world he operates in. Being a prosecutor is about more than proving people guilty. That's what I believe. We're all free to believe as we choose, but the law is not to be toyed with for our own personal goals. If you refuse to accept this, then you must prepare to suffer the consequences.
What does that even mean? Wait, you're not gonna take his...
I'm afraid I must be going now. Farewell, Mr. Edgeworth. Judge Gavelle is right. There must be only one set of laws for everyone. But if following the law means sacrificing the truth, can I really do that in good conscience? Simeon, you're out! Hi, Regina. Is everything alright? They did let you out, right?
Yeah. But I'm so confused about what's going on. Some guy just came and said I was free to go. And then I have Mr. Edgeworth to thank.
You sure do. Mr. Edgeworth found out who the real killer is.
Wow, really? You did that for me, Mr. Edgeworth? Eep! Oh no! No! Stop staring at me like that! I'm innocent, I swear! Don't pull the rug out from under me now!
Stop it, silly. It's true. He saved you. So say thanks already.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you.
And a great big Regina Berry thank you from me, too. Mr. Saint talking directly to me. Small victories, I suppose. Can I just ask one question, Mr. Attorney? Sure. I'm not actually an attorney, though. I thought Bronco was my friend. No, my best friend. I trusted him, but now... Well, it's just, I never knew. I never would have believed that he could have hated somebody enough to want to kill them. He kept something like that from me. Then he never really trusted me, did he? That's not true, Simeon. Of course he trusted you. No, he didn't. If he had, he'd just told me. I could have stopped him. I could have told him that hate never helps, that he had to let go of all that stuff. Mr. Sane, I think you're forgetting something. I should show him the thing that proves Knight trusted him. Was it the chess set? Yeah, it has to be, right? Because he trusted him to bring it to him. It's the chess set I brought for him. Knight had hidden a chisel inside. I imagine he meant to use it for escape. What? You mean he was using me? No, he believed in you. He knew he could count on you to bring it, and that you would never be so untrusting as to look inside. I imagine that by not telling you, he was hoping he could keep you from getting caught up in his mess. Oh, Bronco, why didn't you tell me? At least you understand now, right, Simeon? I'm sure he does. He may not show it, but Simeon's no dummy. A good night's sleep and he'll be completely over this whole thing by tomorrow. That's not as complimentary as you think it is. I'll try. I have to, for Bronco. I hope to show him I can become the best animal trainer out there. That's the spirit. And there's his... Oh, I almost forgot. His Ratatouille act. We're doing a new show soon. I'd love it if you could come, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh no, it's Max. I see him on the poster. There he is. Hey, I'll be joining Regina on stage for this one. That's right. The Very Big Circus is the biggest, most fabulous event in town. You'll have oodles of fun. Sounds great, doesn't it, Mr. Edgeworth? Come on, we have to go. Well, I'll think about it. All right, Simeon, we've got some training to do. I think it's time you and Regent got acquainted. What? Regent the tiger? No way, I can't. No. Oh, you'll be fine, silly. You'll never met a nicer kitty cat. I can't. Please, Regina, anything but that, please. Another satisfied customer. Well, that was really something, Smiles. Talk about pulling it out of the bag. I couldn't have done it without you, Fender. Without your timely intervention, she would have gotten away. Besides, I have you to thank for being able to investigate the case in the first place. Oh, stop it. Pat me on the back any harder and you're gonna make me blush. Or topple over. I suppose it would be asking too much for you to take this seriously. Seriously? Miles, my friend. I am always serious. Anyway, how does it feel to save an innocent client? That's what it means to be an attorney, after all. To be an attorney. Gotta say, I had a blast. Reminded me of the good old days. Like Gregory was standing there right beside me. It's been like a zillion years since I felt this warm and fuzzy on the job. That's good? Bittersweet? I'm not sure. Say, Miles, you ever thought about going into the defense game full time? Excuse me? You know, pick up where Gregory left off. Get out there and actually help people. Hey, pal, don't get any big ideas. Mr. Edgeworth ain't about to switch sides. Why not? Coming over to the light side's all the rage. Everybody's doing it these days. Come on, Mr. Fender, you know it's not about that. Chill, team, chill. Don't get it twisted. I was just asking a perfectly innocent question. No, you weren't. Heck, you were. Looks like you got a mean defense team there yourself, Miles. Fender, I am a prosecutor. Yep, and I'm an attorney. You could be one too. I'm serious. Well, I've said my piece. You change your mind, you know who to call. I'll be waiting. And there he goes. Follow in my father's footsteps. Could I really do such a thing? I'm going to become a defense attorney just like my dad. An attorney like my father. Me? Well, we'll leave Edgeworth to think about that, and then next time, we're going to start the next case, which is Turnabout Legacy. Gonna be an interesting one. I kind of half remember this one. So anyway, we will see you next time. Bye.